You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
K-pop Demon Hunters Haja Boys breakfast meal and Huntrix meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja Boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
Hey everybody, welcome to a special episode of the Stacking Benjamin Show. Well, you know it's a special episode because it's Sunday. Not only that, you also know it's special because, how about that theme music, huh? That is an awesome song created right here in Texarkana where we make the show. Big thanks to my friend Sean Womack and his friend Mark Searcy. That is a piece called Draco's Final Mission. Sean and Mark both play in some phenomenal bands. You can find that on Spotify, by the way. Just put in Draco's Final Mission. You'll find it. We'll also have a link on Twitter. I'll share that at my Average Joe Money Twitter feed. Well, today we have for you an annual treat. We are presenting the 2022 13th Annual Plutus Award finalists. The Plutus Awards are the best in indie personal finance discussions. And whether it's audio, video, writing, social media, we have it all. And we're going to take you there. Just want to let you know ahead of time that when we cover these live events, the audio, which we love good audio here, right? On our podcast, audio is not going to be the same for that presentation. However, we, after that, have some great commentary on a few of the awards, including the best of awards and the best new. So you can find new names to follow. You can also hear about the hottest names in their respective fields. I always love getting new points of view when it comes to my personal finance journey. So the first 25 minutes going to be a little wobbly because of the live nature. After that, much better back here. All right, time for us to roll into it. Let's head to the presentation of the 2022 13th Annual Plutus Awards.
Everybody, we are live. Welcome to the presentation of the finalists for the 13th Annual Plutus Awards. I'm Joe Salstihai from Stacking Benjamins, and my friend here below me, Seeds in the Money Show and representing the Plutus Awards, Marina Markowitz here. How are you?
Hey, well, it's been a little bit crazy up in here as we're getting ready for the Plutus Awards, but the panelists are voting on the finalists right now, so I'll know someone soon.
I was going to say, even we don't know. Even we don't know who's won, but we do know who the finalists are. We're about to present those today. And before we get to this, by the way, I want to talk about a couple things, Miranda. The very first one is the Plutus Awards is a way to help the Plutus Foundation. So can you say a couple words about the Plutus Foundation and also about our title sponsor?
Yes, definitely. So Plutus Foundation has a mission to bring voices and financial education and financial literacy to many communities. And so the whole point of the Plutus Foundation is to elevate those voices and elevate voices in independent financial media so we can talk about issues that we don't see a lot in the mainstream media. And so that's kind of what the Plutus Awards is all about, is recognizing those independent voices so that, we get a chance to hear these voices and these stories and these perspectives that we don't often see. And we're very pleased to have a partner in Capital Group. And Capital Group has been a great partner of ours for the last few years. And they support all sorts of the things that we do with the Plutus Awards, as well as other things we do with the Plutus Foundation. So we are super excited that Capital Group continues to be a great partner for us with the Plutus Awards and other things that we do at the Plutus Foundation.
Want to say hello to everybody watching on lots of channels or maybe tuning in later. We're live on YouTube on both the Plutus Foundation and the Stacky Benjamin stream. We're live on like 4 different Facebook pages. We're live on a couple different Twitter streams. So wherever you're at, thanks for joining in the chat. And we've got all kinds of people saying hello. But we got one more thing that I want to talk about ahead of time. And that is for people that are new to the Plutus Awards, they might not see, Miranda, their favorite brand, which might be, by the way, because that brand has won before. So we should explain that now that we're on year 13, there's a lot of brands out there doing great work, but this is a way, and you said it earlier, to introduce people to new voices. So talk about that for a second, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So one of the things that we have done that we implemented as we were going along is that we do try and spread the love a little bit when we're doing our Plutus Awards. And so the panel, when they're looking at it, we do say, hey, if somebody has won twice in any category, we try not to have them in that category again as a finalist or as a winner. And actually, many of them become trophy sponsors. I was one of those. After winning a couple of Plutus Awards, I went ahead and turned around and decided to be a trophy sponsor in that category. And you can do that too. We have plenty of categories that still need trophy sponsors. So if you want to be a trophy sponsor, make sure you reach out. You can find information on PlutusAwards.com on how you can be a trophy sponsor. But yes, that's one of the things that we do, is so that we can continue to elevate new voices in the community and highlight new voices in the community. We do kind of have an expiration date on how many times you can win a Plutus Award.
We also have some fantastic new hosts of the Plutus Awards this year. I was excited to see these guys. I love them.
Yeah, so the debt-free guys are John and David. They are going to be our MCs this year for the Plutus Awards. Super excited to have them hosting. They have some really fun skits planned for us. They've got some great entertainment planned for us. I have been watching them as they develop their ideas, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. And these will be live again at FinCon.
Yes, the Plutus Awards will be live at FinCon on September 9th. September 9th.
I was just thinking about that. I'm like, we should have written the date down just now, but that's it. Yeah.
I'm consumed right now. I'm super consumed right now with the panel and everything else and some of our other events. And and there's David right now saying
yes. I think he just found out that he's hosting the Plutus Awards. David, I don't know if you know this, but you're hosting the Plutus Awards.
Dawn has dragged you into yet another conflagration.
That's right. Yeah. All right. I know that people are screaming at their device right now, Miranda. They're like, just get to it. Come on, tell us who the finalists are. So you ready to do this?
Sure.
Here we go. I will announce the category and Miranda will give us the finalists. So we're going to start off with the finalist in Best Finance, Financial Independence, or Retirement Early Content. Finalists are?
Yeah, so in this category, which is sponsored by Side Hustle Nation, so presented by Side Hustle Nation, we have Delianne, the Money Coach, I Am Land Shark, Our Rich Journey, Radical Fire, Rich Frugal Life, Talcan, and Trip of a Lifestyle. Now, I think it's important to note as well, when we have all of these, listed, we switched formats to do content rather than everything divided up by blog or podcast or video channel, because there's so much going on now in the world of content creation. So we have a nice mix here of people on Instagram, on Twitter, with their blogs, with their videos, and with podcasts. So it's a lot of different types of content up here. So it's really kind of cool to see.
Yeah, it truly is less about what type of thing you're doing, is just meeting your audience where they are and people all over the place. Our next category, Best Financial Literacy Content for Children.
Yeah, so this one is presented by The College Investor. So thank you to The College Investor. And we have Easy Peasy Finance, Financial Garden, Financialism. I always do that wrong. Financialism. The M is for Money Book, and Ty Allen Jackson.
Next up on our list, the third Plutus finalist is Best Personal Finance Content for Women.
This is Best Personal Finance Content for Women. This one is presented by Clever Girl Finance. We have The Ambition Bulletin by Stephanie O'Connell Rodriguez, Bitches Get Riches, Budget Girl, Her First 100K on TikTok, Her Money with Jean Chatsky, The Budgetnista, and the Clever Girls Know podcast.
Which brings us to Best Entrepreneurship or Side Hustle Content.
And this one is presented by Well Kept Wallet. In this one, we have Arts and Budgets, Bitch I'm Budgeting, My Money Chronicles, Side Hustle Pro, and Yo Quiero Dinero podcast.
Best Debt Freedom Content.
So in this category, we have Better Wallets, Debt Free Gonna Be, Millennial in Debt, The Avocado Toast Budget, and The Broke Black Girl.
I just love some of these names. I mean, the second that avocado toast became a thing.
Right?
Yes. The most entertaining personal finance content creator.
Well, we've got Amanda Holden, who is also sometimes known as Dumpster Doggy. Debt Trippin'. We got Joe Salsihai from Staffing Benjamins. How'd that guy get in here?
I don't know.
Bravely Go, Cara Perez. And we have Melissa from Millennial in Debt.
Best freelancer contributor in the personal finance media.
So this is my favorite category. This is the one I sponsor. This is my trophy sponsorship. And also I want to say hi to Kevin, who is my guy who helps and make sure I show up on the day of the Plutus Awards and make sure I eat. So thanks for popping up here, Kevin. But yeah, so in this category, we have Lee Huffman, Emily Guy Birkin, Eric Rosenberg, Family Money Adventure. That's Kevin Payne, Jackie Lamb, Athena Lent, and Mariah Chase.
I saw Athena and Kevin said hello on different channels, hanging out with us today. Next up is the best Canadian finance content.
So this is from the finalists here are Handful of Thoughts, Modern Family, Money After Graduation, Squawk Fox, and Talkan.
Next up, we have best investment content.
So for best investment content, we have Dumpster Dog Blog. She's got some great videos. That's Amanda Holden. We have Bridgie Casey. We have Building Bread, Earn and Invest, Investing Latina, Money for the Rest of Us, and The Ivy Investor.
If you just tuned in to us, you are hearing the finalist for this year's Plutus Awards. It's the 13th annual Plutus Awards, sponsored by Capital Group. And we are, I think, almost halfway through with our finalist list, finding out your favorite brands. Yeah, we were maybe close-ish. Our next list of finalists is for Best Personal Finance Content for Underserved Communities.
Right. And in this category, we have Hey Berna, Homo Money, Miss Be Helpful, Mom Autism Money, Money Talk with Tiff, The Broke Black Girl, and Yo Quiero Dinero.
Best New Personal Finance Book.
Oh, this is a fun one. We had so many great books come out this year by members of our community, so I am super excited for this one. We have Cashing Out by Julian and Kirsten Saunders. We have Financial First Aid by Alyssa Davies, Gen Z Money Sense by Ella Gupta, Launching Financial Grownups by Bobby Rebel, and we have Stacked by Joe Salsihai and Emily Guy Birkin.
Which brings us to... Okay, I cannot forward the screen. This is what I love about
technology.
This is what I love about live stuff. Let's see if I can get this back up and go get it back. I have no idea what just happened, but man, is it gone.
Well, in the meantime, while you're working on that, maybe I'll talk a little bit about how we end up getting to this finalist position? How do we?
Excellent. Please.
So one of the things that we do at the when we're doing the Plutus Awards and we're figuring out these finalists is we have a public nomination period. And two jokes in one stream. So we have a public nomination period where folks can nominate their favorite projects. Creators can submit their projects for consideration. And so we have this period where folks are submitting their projects, where people are nominating their projects. And once we get that going, we have this period, and then we collect all of the nominations, and then we have our panel look at them. Now, our Plutus Awards panel is open to anybody in the community who wants to be involved. Every year, sometime around March or April, we put out the call, and you can apply to be on the Plutus Awards panel. This is a great community show that allows folks the chance to really give back to their community and to move forward. And to just recognize their peers, which is a really fun thing to be doing. So anyway, once we get that done, once we collect the nominations and the entries, we go ahead and we put together a list for the panelists to look at, and they narrow that down to their 5 choices. And the panelists go through and they look at these projects, they look at the content, and if they feel like somebody's missing, the panelists can actually suggest a project for consideration and to be added. And in years past, some of our winners have actually been people who have been added by members of the panel for consideration. And so it's a really great, once again, this is a really great community. Oh no. oh my, what is behind my phone? What is the bag?
Oh.
This is what John wants to know. John wants to know, what is this bag? It looks familiar, perhaps. Because,
Yep, you got to show the logo. There it is.
We also give swag bags out to our winners. So if you're one of the winners, then and you're with us in Orlando, you can receive. It's like, well, I'm going to put it back because it looks very nice. Without it there we go. That's better. Anyway, hey, we've got it working again. All right, Joe, miracle work.
I just gotta remember, Miranda, not to press that thing. Just don't do it. It's all right. We ready for the next one?
Let's do the next one.
Next up, best new personal finance video channel.
So best new finance video channel, we have Bobby Rebell on TikTok. Foolproof Financial Freedom on YouTube, The Frugal Fox on TikTok, My Wall Street on TikTok, and Frugal on TikTok. TikTok's the big video thing this year, isn't it?
TikTok is the big video thing. You saw Instagram just try to change things up to try to take back some of their lunch that TikTok has taken. So TikTok, the place to be, apparently. I don't dance well, so I struggle with TikTok. My TikTok game's not that good. But
if you'd like to see some cringe, my TikTok is fully available. Terrible.
Best military personal finance content.
So best military personal finance content, active duty, passive income, Her Money Moves, Holding Down the Fort, Kate Horrell, and Lacey Langford.
Military Money Show. Best frugal travel or travel hacking content.
This is Bald Thoughts at Boarding Area, Financed, Geek Streamers, GeoBreeze Travel, Money We Have, 1 Mile at a Time, and Prince of Travel.
Before we move on, Miranda, how often do these change? How often do the categories change?
Yeah, so every year, one of the very first things that the panelists do is decide which categories should be included for the Plutus Awards. So that's the very first thing they do. They introduce themselves, and then I say, do we want to keep these categories? And so they kind of switch out a little bit every year as the panel looks at it and sees, okay, what are the trends in the community? What aspects of the community need a little more representation, and then the categories kind of come in and out. And we actually had this best frugal travel or travel hacking content category a few years ago, but after a couple times, the panel decided, okay, it doesn't really apply. We're going to kind of pull back a little bit. But this year, the panelists got on and said, hey, we want to bring it back. We want to have this category. So here it is. And so that's one of the great things, again, about having a great community award show is that we can continue to adapt and change along with the community.
And I got to tell you, just having, book some more travel, like the price of travel, like everything else has gone up so much that we've got some great resources here, like we do in the other areas anyway.
Exactly.
Best college planning and student loan content.
Yeah. So this is actually a trophy sponsored by Student Loan Planner. So thank you, Student Loan Planner. And this is the best college planning and student loans content. We have College Info Geek, College Life Made Easy, College Money Smart, Money and Mental Peace, and Money Wise Lawyer.
Best real estate content.
So this year for best real estate content, our finalists are Coach Carson, Live with Plum, The Frugal Gay on Instagram, Real Wealth Show podcast, and the RE Tipster on YouTube.
Best international or expat personal finance content.
So for this category, our finalists are Be Clever with Your Cash, Jordan Cox, Mrs. Mummy Penny, Our Rich Journey, U.S. Expat Investing, The Frugal Expat, and Wander Onwards.
Best traditional retirement content.
That's right. There are still people retiring the traditional way. It's not just all fired people out there. In this category, we have Can I Retire Yet? Money for the Rest of Us, New Retirement, The Retirement Manifesto, and Think, Save, Retire.
Best family or couples personal finance content.
And this one is presented by FamZoo. We have All Options Considered, Chief Mom Officer, Family Money Adventure, Money Day Podcast, and the Money Dad Podcast.
It's Money Dad Podcast, yeah.
Money Dad Podcast, and the Phi Couple.
Every day is Money Day when you're dad, or it's Lack of Money Day, or come hit me up for Money Day. Like it's one.
Right. My dad used to be like, you only love me because I'm the money tree.
That's right. BankandDad.com. Best use of social media for personal finance topics.
So on this one, we have Building Bread on Twitter, Debt Free Gonna Be on Instagram, Delianne the Money Coach on Instagram, Millennial in Debt on Instagram, Mixed Up Money on Instagram, Rich by Intention on Instagram, wow. And Yo Quiero Dinero on Instagram.
Toto. Which
Kevin out there representing on Twitter for us.
So we had TikTok earlier and now it's all Instagram.
I know. And we've been, it's going to be interesting to see in the next few years how the panel decides to address best use of social media, because pretty much everything's social media now. So it'll be interesting to see how the panel does this moving forward.
Yeah, it's funny for a lot of people, social media is not social media anymore. It's their prime place of business. This is where they create their cool stuff. The Community Builder Award.
So on this one, we have Yanis Torres Rodriguez from Yo Quiero Podcast, Josh Overmeyer, Kevin Matthews from Building Bread, Pete McPherson from Do You Even Blog, Tori Dunlap from Her First 100K, and V Weir from V Frugal Fox.
And I think we have Miranda Marquit as well on there. I think we do. I'm seeing it on the screen. I always forget I gotta point the opposite way. It's over. It's over there.
Yes. I mean, whatever.
Yes. Best current events coverage related to personal finance.
So in this category, we have Bitches Get Riches, Building Bread, Family Finance Mom, Stacking Benjamins, and Women PF, Women's Personal Finance.
On Twitter. Here we go into, they say you shouldn't have a favorite category. As a guy who's traditionally a podcaster, I love this one. New voices in personal finance. This is Best New Personal Finance Podcast.
Yeah, and this one is presented by Steve Stewart, everybody's favorite podcast editor. And
the amazing Steve Stewart.
The amazing Steve Stewart. In this category, our finalists are Financial Feminist, Mom, Autism, Money, Profit on the Margins, Rich by Intention, and the Wealth Saver podcast.
It was so exciting. I love the new voices in podcasting, as I also like the new voices in blogging, Best New Personal Finance Blog.
So this one is presented by Wallet Hacks, and the finalists are Too Ambitious, the Too Ambitious Bulletin by Stephanie O'Connell Rodriguez, Anders Skarsberg, CFP, Cult of Money, Homo Money, and Lazy Fi Dad.
Best Personal Finance Content Series.
So this is a series of content, so kind of a self-contained series or ongoing categories that people tend to go back to. So with this one, we have the Choose FI Foundation pre-K through 12 curriculum. We have the Extraordinary Life on an Ordinary Income. We have Federal Employee Guides from GovFi Worker. We have Invest for Independence from Delianne the Money Coach. And we have Money on the Table by Rich and Regular.
And now we are up to the final three, I believe.
Yeah.
Video Channel of the Year.
So for Video Channel of the Year, we have Building Bread on Instagram Reels. We have Debt Free Gonna Be on Instagram Reels. We have I Like to Dabble on TikTok. We have Investing Latina on Instagram Reels. Let's Talk Money on YouTube. Minority Mindset on YouTube, Miss Be Helpful on Instagram Reels, The College Investor on TikTok, Wealth Hacker on YouTube, and Well Behaved Wallet on YouTube.
Podcast of the Year.
Okay, we've got the Money Podcast from Bigger Pockets. We have the Brown Ambition Podcast. We have Financial Feminist Podcast. We have Her Dinero Matters Podcast. We have Her Money with Jean Chatzky. Michelle is Money Hungry. Money for the Rest of Us. Redefining Wealth with Patrice Washington. This is Awkward. And Yo Quiero Dinero.
And last but not least, Blog of the Year.
Blog of the Year. We have All Options Considered. A Purple Life. The Best Interest. Clever Girl Finance. His and Her Money. I Like to Dabble, Marriage, Kids, and Money, Money Smart Latina, and The College Investor.
That concludes our presentation of the finalist of the 13th, I can't believe it's 13th annual already.
Right.
Plutus Awards. Miranda, I can't lose more hair, but I don't know who's going to win this thing. These look great.
Yeah, I mean, I think no matter who wins, we all do.
We actually all do. And thank you, by the way, to all the creators out there putting out great stuff. And I know every year how difficult it is for the panel to choose, to think about, to ponder. I've been in a lot of those discussions, and this is difficult every year. And even if you weren't somebody who this year was a finalist, just the wealth of information we have is so exciting. The wealth of people out there creating is just, it's always great to see.
And I do have to say, we're not done yet. There is one more award.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. We do have a People's Choice Award, which is our pure popularity play, everybody. This is your pure popularity play. You can go to plutusawards.com and you can still vote for somebody for People's Choice.
That's right.
And that People's Choice voting is open usually until about 3 days before the actual award ceremony. So we'll be doing that into September. So you've got about a month right now. So if you want to get in there and you want to get some folks going for, nominate, plutusawards.com/nominate. Head on in there. You can still try and get your favorite project in for People's Choice, which is really fun, which is really great. And so it's very exciting that it's still going. And we will be posting on our social media. We'll be posting leaderboards, probably starting, I'd like to say next week, but I'm in the middle of a move, which is why I'm in the hotel room. but keep it going. Go over to plutusawards.com/nominate, and you can nominate your favorite projects for your content creator projects for People's Choice. So get on over there, keep voting. The voting's still open for People's Choice. So keep that going. And then make sure you join us to find out who is the winner when we go to FinCon on September 9th with the Plutus Awards ceremony presented by our great partner, Capital Group.
And there's a lot more in the run up to the Plutus Awards. First of all, make sure that you follow or subscribe wherever you're watching us now. If you're on YouTube, hit the button and you'll know when there's brand new stuff coming out when it comes to the Plutus Awards. And also, I know on Stacking Benjamins, as usual, we're not only going to replay this, we have a crack panel like we do every year that's going to talk about the what excites them, about some of these names, about some of these categories, and we kind of mix it up a little bit. So watch out for that. And of course, like you said earlier, Miranda, we also have the People's Choice until almost the very end. So vote early and often for People's Choice. All right. And Athena says that panel sounds cool, and partly because Athena's on it, so it's awesome. All right, anything else we got, Miranda?
No, I think that's about it. Just remember to vote.
She's Miranda. I'm Joe. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see everybody hopefully at FinCon September 9th.
And there you have it. Congratulations to all of our finalists. Coming up in just a moment, we take you back here to Mom's Basement, where I'm joined by our panelists, and we dive into some of these categories so you can learn a little more about some of the hot brands in independent personal finance. So stay right where you are for the big part 2, where I'm joined by our illustrious panel of friends. In business, there is no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. And when you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on, because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else, your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS Ground Advantage. We mean business. I had a breakfast mentoring meeting yesterday with a young woman who was just amazing. She is graduating from college with a degree in wealth management, and she reached out hoping for some pointers. And listen, if somebody's in Texarkana and wants to go into this beautiful field of personal finance and helping people get their money together, that is incredible. But even more incredible is how she reached out, how she was trying to network. And I was having a discussion that finding the right person and avoiding the wrong person for a role, that's what can make or break an organization. And we just don't see that many qualified people. So how do you find them? Well, Indeed sponsored jobs is a boost whenever you need to find quality talent. If you're hiring, Indeed is all you need. You can stop struggling to get your job post even seen on other sites. You'll match with quality candidates with Indeed's sponsored jobs. Get matched with and hire quality candidates who can drive the results you need. Reach candidates who meet your specific criteria like skills, certifications, or location. It drives me crazy when I'm matched with all kinds of people who aren't a fit. I don't have that kind of time. People are finding quality hires on Indeed right now. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed are 95% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all the boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored job. And here's what's cool, Stackers. You're going to get $75 in sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support Stacking Benjamins by saying you heard about Indeed right here at Stacking Benjamins. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. Welcome to the second half of today's special Stacking Benjamins episode. And this is my favorite, one of my favorite recordings every year. I almost said my favorite, but I also like Len Penzo's sandwich survey every year where we look at inflation. I like our board game episode, but this is always a treat. Talking to some people that do a lot of the same things that we do here in the basement about some of these categories. Now, before I introduce our esteemed panel to all of you, I'll just say that there are lots and lots and lots of categories, as you heard in the first half of this. If we commented on every category, this would be a 26-hour podcast. So to keep it manageable, we picked out 9 and tried to do one that nine that these panelists are not in. Although, because they're best of people, and we need to talk about best of, we got the best people here, and we can't avoid a few of those. So let's talk first to the man who's been here before, I think a couple times on this panel. Eric Rosenberg is here.
I think this might be number 4. I think I might have done it 3 times before, which makes me really sad for you to say that it's only a top 3 of your favorites.
Like, come
and
on,
that
man.
It's not absolutely your favorite. I'm a little burned by that.
But
I'm so glad to be back. Thank you so much for having me. I love Stacking Benjamins and the stackers out there. Thanks for having me.
Len Penzo talking sandwiches, though, Eric. You know, it's big stuff.
Yeah, I like sandwiches too.
Yes,
but I mean that's not me. This is me. So obviously this one's better.
And of course, 2 people I've known for a long time, and I'm so happy that they're joining us here. First of all, the Money Smart Latinas here. Athena Lent joins us. How are you?
I'm good. It's me.
It's about time we had you on this panel, damn it.
I know. I've never been on your show, so I'm a virgin. I'm not a virgin at too many things anymore, so I will gladly take this. So thank you for having me on your show, Joe.
And that is Athena right there. That's what people need to know. Well, actually, it's not what everybody needs to know. Tell the stackers out there what you do at Money Smart Latina.
So I bring finances to the Latinas. I go over general personal finance advice that anybody can benefit from. But then I also go more into Latino issues like multi-generational housing, how to do a checking account if you don't have a social, that kind of thing.
And we will see later on in this show that she is part of the Best of 2022 class, fighting over that award. So congratulations ahead of time, Athena, for a job well done. Yeah, absolutely.
I know I'm going to win, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. And wait a minute, are you against this next guy who I'm about to introduce? Are you guys fighting over the same award, the same trophy?
No, I'm sadly fighting against Eric at this time.
We're going head to head.
Yes.
I've known you a long time, Athena. I've thought of you as a friend for a long time, but
no more
coming off this year. This is it. It's you versus me.
I'm not afraid to pop off, Eric. So we'll discuss that later.
I mean, I type really, really fast. So, and I've never won Freelancer of the Year. I've been nominated 4 or 5 times now. So I don't know. Maybe
Susan
this is my
Lucci.
year. I don't know.
You're the Susan Lucci of the personal finance.
Now that I'm like what Sandy Smith used to be. Nominated many times, but then she had that year she crushed it and won so many awards. Well deserved.
She went home with a lot of hardware that year, didn't she?
Dripping in gold.
Yeah. I'll say you're the Sandy Smith, but that doesn't mean you're going to win this year.
So we'll see. I don't know. There's some other good competitors on that one too. On both sides.
Yeah.
And now that we spent like 5 minutes talking about a category we're not even going to cover today, but you can see the love on this panel. By the way, Eric, I asked Athena what she does at Money Smart Latina. I didn't have you explain what you do to everybody.
Oh, yes. I'm my main thing is freelance writing. You can find me at ericrosenberg.com. I've also had a website called Personal Profitability. There's a blog, a podcast, and video channel through there. The podcast hasn't been updated in a while, but it's really good evergreen stuff. So you could go download the whole thing and binge it. I recommend it.
And by the way, we'll link to all these on our show notes page at stackingbenjamins.com, as well as the categories we go over and the full list from the Plutus Awards at stackingbenjamins.com, so people can dive into all these cool brands. But last but not least, a guy who we've collaborated with a few times, Mr. Chris Browning joins us from Popcorn Finance. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for finally unblocking my number. I call you, I get voicemail every time, but I say, Joe's just so busy. So thanks for finally answering my call.
This line is no longer accepting calls.
That's right. Chris is like, it's amazing because Joe's voicemail says, "Hey, Chris, I'm too busy to talk."
I still leave a message, though.
Which is very nice of you. Yes. And so Popcorn Finance, but that's not all. You also this year nominated for This Is Awkward, your other podcast.
Yeah, during the pandemic, I said, what's a better thing to do than to be real awkward on the internet for everyone to see? So me and my good friend Allison, she runs Inspired Budget. We decided to start this podcast where we just say, hey, anyone out there has an awkward story, send it in to us and we'll help you get through it without losing your friends and family. So that's what we've been doing for the past couple of years. It's been a really fun way to talk about finance, just getting real awkward and laughing at ourselves, basically.
Now that is a newish show, but I have to say, I think this is the most veteran panel we've had since we've had this special episode every year. Chris, how long have you been in the community? I'm going to say probably 6-7 years.
Oh, about 5 years. 2017 is when I launched Popcorn Finance.
Yeah. I think Athena and Eric, you guys have both been in the community longer than I have. I think I've been around since 2012. Athena, how about you?
Eric and I just talked about this. I started in 2008, but I didn't get really serious until about 2014.
Yeah.
My site, Personal Profitability, it had a way worse name back then. It was narrowbridgeadventures.blogspot.com because I didn't know anything about internet marketing.
Because it rolls off the tongue. It just rolls off the tongue.
I had a blogspot once upon a time.
Yep. That started way back in November 2008, which officially makes me a dinosaur blogger.
Well, everybody's wondering when we're going to get to these awards, so let's do it. I want to start off, guys, with the first one that I think the debt-free guys are going to present at FinCon at the award ceremony. And it is
Best Financial Independence or Retire Early Content presented by Side Hustle Nation.
There you go. Ooh. And let's go over again the finalist. Eric, since you've clearly already found it and I'm scrolling back to it, review those for all of us.
Sure. And I hope I get everyone's names right. Sorry if I'm name challenged. Delianne, the money coach on Instagram. I am Landshark on Twitter. Our Rich Journey on YouTube. Radical Fire. Rich Frugal Life. Talkan, and Trip of a Lifestyle.
The first thing I notice about this, and I think, Athena, I'll start with you, is that in the past, I felt like we were talking to bloggers, right? I mean, we're looking at everybody's blog or maybe their podcast, maybe video series. The fact that we have so many social media sites here is a big change this year and shows the different ways people are getting their fill of personal finance.
So I obviously Money Smart Latina. I'm part of the Latino community, and doing research, I realized that a lot of Latinos, a lot of Latinas they don't get their information from traditional websites. They're getting it from Instagram. And so that's a really big platform for our community. And so I'm really excited to see that we have a ton of different mediums, and it's not just like best website, it's like best creator. And that's what makes me really excited about this year, because I mean, I can have a nice website. Actually, I do have a nice website, and it was designed by Sandy Smith. But I'm just saying, like, we're actually across the board looking at creators this year, and I love that.
Yeah, me too. But Chris, if you're one of the people on the panel, on the committee choosing, does this make their job harder?
I think it just makes it different. And actually, it may make it a little bit easier, because I'd say, consuming those who make content primarily on social media is probably a little easier to review than going to blogs and really getting a nice in-depth look at everyone's content. So I think it maybe also reduce a little bit of fatigue. So you can, have a little mixture of content while you're going through this category. You can check out some Twitter posts, some TikTok videos, and then read a couple of blogs to really round out how you're learning about your personal finance stuff and your financial independence stuff.
I got to say that was true for me, just even reviewing for this episode, looking at people's stuff, the fact that I'm going to Twitter, I'm going to Instagram, I'm going to TikTok, going to a blog, listening to your podcast. Like, that was fun. It was super fun. Maybe it fed my ADD. I don't know. Eric, one other thing that's really stands out this year, and we'll get into the numbers here in a second. Some of these creators already have a pretty big following. Some of them are backed by huge companies that people have heard of. Others have really small followings. Like, I feel like we have some David versus Goliath going on here.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing. Right before we hit the record button, we were just talking about how the awards panel did a shift in how the winners are picked. And it used to be that every single person on the panel for every category would help narrow down the finalists, but then everyone would vote on the winners for every category. And now the small groups that pick the finalists are also picking the winner, which gives them more time to dig into those smaller sites. And I think that might help, those who don't have 100 million followers already, or even 100,000 or 10,000 already, have more opportunity to shine, because maybe they're creating something just as good or better than someone who has some giant brand you've heard of behind them, but we just haven't seen them yet because they don't have that big brand recognition. So I love that we have a diverse group of creators from different content types, different niches, different sizes of followings. As long as it's about money, that's what I always say when I'm a writer. I say I can write about anything with a $sign attached, and here anything with a fire $sign attached was fair game, and it's a really fun list of finalists.
Yeah, I feel like these awards are diverse in every sense of the word. That no matter what starting point you have that you come from, there's somebody who has a situation that you have, maybe a net worth that you have, fighting the same battles. They look like you, they talk like you. Like, man, these awards are really diverse. So Eric, let's talk about maybe one of those undiscovered brands. What really jumps out at you is somebody that the committee did a nice job of maybe highlighting, a brand that somebody hasn't heard of before.
Sure. Actually, one of the smaller brands on this list that I've noticed before is Landshark. I'm a big Twitterer. That's my main social platform. I'm Eric Profits there if you want to give me a shout. But I've noticed Landshark there before, and just outside of the 10,000 follower club. So not one of those huge brands, but definitely not small.
Yeah.
And getting it up over almost to 10,000 means you're doing something right. And it's definitely the case here. It's exciting to see, different kinds of financial independence content. And this creator coming from Colorado, I have some Colorado roots, and I know we have a lot of financial independence with history in Colorado. Like we have in Longmont, Pete, Mr. Money Mustache.
Never heard of him. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, they've heard of that one before. There's a few other fire type creators around that area, and Longmont and Fort Collins and Cheyenne, Wyoming, that little stretch north of Denver. And it's fun to see another Colorado one on there. So I'm in California now because left coast, best coast. But I still love Colorado. I still love the Mile High City. I'll be going back to visit in a couple weeks.
I feel like Athena, speaking of Eric's personal love affair and us hearing his itinerary for the next few weeks, this Twitter feed of Land Sharks is very much the same. And I think we see that with good creators, don't we? This mix of being a coach on one side, but being a real person on the other.
Well, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, just like you'd like to follow Eric, I'm at According Athena, since, we're just throwing that out there.
Yes. Chris, while we're at it, hold on.
Oh, me? Well, don't go to Twitter because I don't like Twitter. Go to Instagram, Popcorn Finance Podcast.
There we go. All right. Now that we got that out.
He's like, hold up. He's like, we ain't talking about that.
Yes.
Also, my Cash App is, and I'm joking.
Right.
My Cash App, my Venmo.
That's what we really
I have a
want.
GoFundMe, a Patreon. I'll take money however you want to give it to me. PayPal. Yeah.
I feel like
my routing number and bank account number for direct deposit.
I feel like if a financial writer has a GoFundMe for their failing career, they might be in the wrong business, especially talking finance. But anyway,
I could say some things, but I'm a professional now, so I'm going to hold it in.
Well,
Chris and I live on opposite sides of Hollywood, so we've got a lot of failed professionals there looking at
I like Land Shark, but you know who else I'm really excited about?
Yes.
And I had to actually do some digging, but it was Rich Frugal Life. And I really like that they're promoting not only, FIRE, because people are like, oh, I got to hustle until I retire usually. But I like how they're promoting happiness. It's Mrs. Rich Frugal Life. But I really liked how, she's already fired, but she's also focusing on joy, and she's focusing on living your life, which I'm sorry, fire bloggers, but I don't think a lot of you do. But that's just my own personal opinion. But I really like the fact that, she's promoting happiness and well-being. And I think that's something that we need to see more in the personal finance community, instead of just bring my coffee from home that's made with a week-old brown coffee grounds kind of content.
There is a piece on here, Athena, to your point, as I click on their blog. Isn't this the blog that said fire movement won't make you happy? Wasn't this the blog that had that? Spoiler alert,
so.
Fire movement won't make you happy. Here it is. Yes.
Yeah. And spoiler alert, I know a lot of people who have fired and they're miserable. They feel lost. I mean, I'm not saying that's everybody, but a lot of people that I have met through the personal finance creator community, they kind of are, and it's really sad to it's just sad to see, because contrary to popular belief, I want everybody to be happy except Eric, because I'm running against him in a category. But I want everybody to be happy. So I don't know. I think that was really cool to see.
I think that is cool to see, especially since she's such a fan of the fire movement, but talks about, if you're not happy with the journey, you're not going to be happy with the destination. I think that one's cool. Another brand, Chris, that sticks out to you here?
Well, one that I'd say I want to give a shout out to a smaller creator who maybe doesn't get as much attention.
Yeah.
Bob over at talkcan.com. I got a chance to meet him a few years ago. They actually had an event out here. I think it was a Plutus Voices event, out here in Orange County. And I got a chance to talk with Bob, and he's really insightful, and I really enjoyed his perspective on financial independence. And I think it's nice having a very grounded approach to this content. And so I just want to make sure I gave him a shout out too, because I think he's doing some really great things. And he's been doing this for a while too. He's not new to this world at all.
Well, and what I like about Bob also is that he lives in, one of the most expensive cities on earth in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And just somebody chasing financial independence in a really expensive place goes to show that while we talk a lot about moving to get fired, that you can actually stay where you are and still seek it, which is exciting.
When I look at his... If you just look at his homepage right now, it says he makes $3,400 a month in dividends, has 2 young kids, and achieved FIRE with a single family income. And as someone who has right now as a sole income earner in Southern California with 3 little kids, I'm a little jealous that he built a dividend portfolio like that. So good for you up there in Canada, my friend.
Let's talk about the young people on the block here. 29 years old and hit the FIRE movement. How about trip of a lifestyle?
You know, I'm always interested at the younger people who achieve FIRE. You know, I'm clearly older than 29, but I think it's a fascinating perspective because I think the younger group, they're really good at saying, you know what, this rat race that we're all stuck in is not for me. I'm going to figure out something else. I like this a unique approach to it and the way that they shape their lives, and they're trying to build something different than we've all been taught growing up. So I really like the fact that they come from that perspective, and I think they have really good, nice polish overall to some of their content, especially some of their video content. I really like the production quality. They had a really great like introduction video. I was like, they put some effort and time into this.
One thing that hit me right away with these guys is that, you see people out of college and immediately hopefully they get a job out of college. And if they do and they get a decent salary, well, let's put it this way. Most salaries, if people are lucky enough to get a job out of college, are better than living in a dorm and making nothing. And all of a sudden, though, people usually tell themselves, at least I did, I deserve it. I deserve to live this much bigger lifestyle. And these guys are a great voice on the other side saying, no, we saved like 80% of our money. We still continued. And I feel like, man, if there are more young people that are getting the word out, that if you can just live that I'm struggling lifestyle that you get so used to in your late teens, early 20s, if you can do that a few more years and not tether your bigger income, hopefully, to your expenses, you're going to do a lot better. So I love that. That's exciting. I still have always had an issue though with anybody in their 20s saying I'm retired. I still do. I do have to say that. I know I want to be positive and definitely, by the way, there's a ton to like here, but anybody in their 20s that says they're retired, not for me anymore.
Do you hear a little jealousy in your voice there, John?
I know. I acted like I was retired in my 20s. I wasn't, but I acted like it.
Right. I acted, Athena, similarly. I acted like I was financially independent. Right?
Same.
Very, very much. Another brand on here that I think seems to me to be more of traditionally what we've seen in this category is the blog Radical Fire. What did you guys think when you went to the Radical Fire site?
It's a really well-designed website is what I thought. And I was like, wait, this is a brand new creator, or this is a smaller creator we haven't heard about. I was kind of just blown away by their presentation and their website. And, all the different things that they were talking about, such as like ETFs and mutual funds and, that kind of thing. That's the kind of FIRE content that I like to look at too, especially when it's not like how to cut costs. It's like how to invest to like just get there.
And I like how this site has kind of that old school blogger feel of here's my story. I'm starting in debt. I'm having some troubles and I want to figure it out and share my journey. And if we think way back to the dinosaur ages of the internet when I started, that was a lot of what the bloggers were doing. And over time, as we've shifted to having more video content, very few people had a phone or a mobile device that was capable of watching videos, more than 10 years ago. And now we have TikToks and Instagram Lives and YouTube when you're sitting on your commute to work, as long as you're not driving. And if you back in the day, we only had those blogs, right? We only had the text-based content. But I like that this site is primarily leaning on that, and you can go back and read those articles, and it's a fun vibe and a nice way to share your story.
Yeah, the woman's name is Marjolaine. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And she writes that she decided in 2018 to turn her finances around. Eric, to your point, these are the kind of stories that's what I like to read. I like it when somebody is on the journey. They haven't made it there. She says she was $20,000 in student loan debt and started the site 1.5 years ago. And now, because she documents her journey, it helps her get serious about it. Like, I'm looking at some of her articles, always negotiating. She increased her salary from $24,000 in 2018 to $42,000 in 2020 for a 75% increase. She's lived on half of her income. She started a side hustle. She started investing, spending aligned with her values. Like, these personal stories of her struggling with this, I think is a pretty fun place to read. And by the way, it's a great thing for creators out there, people that want to create. I thought when I started my first blog that I had to just write these, super, like I was the only person giving financial advice on the internet. And I had to write these things that weren't a story as much as they were, well, here's how a Roth IRA works. Nobody wants to read that crap. Like, I want to read about how I messed up, by picking the stupidest investment ever, and how you don't have to do that in your Roth IRA.
Coinbase stock.
Yeah, right. Chris, were you going to say something? Yes. All crypto back last November, right? Yeah.
All my crypto actually ended up not being so bad, but the Coinbase stock was bad.
Chris, did you have something you were going to say?
Oh, no, I was going to say, I think I agree with what you're saying. Coming from personal perspective, I think that is what people want right now. I think that's why TikTok is so popular. I mean, for a lot of reasons, but it's a very personal platform. It's not very polished like we see in so many other places. And that's what people connect with. And that's what readers, listeners, watchers, what they connect with is hearing from you what struggles have you had and how that kind of led you to where you are versus, hey, I'm here and I know everything. Just listen to me. I think that sound's going out, and what Marjolaine's doing here, I think fits right into that.
So that leaves two brands here, and I left these for last because these two brands have big, huge audiences. Delianne, the money coach, not only, now this is for her Instagram feed, but she also does a podcast called Diversifying with this little brand called CNN that maybe people have heard of. Athena, yeah, no, what? Athena, Delianne, the money coach.
I love her. I've seen her blown up on Instagram. Again, it's where the Latinos are at. And I love her, and that's all I can really say is just I love her. She used to be an attorney, and I'm pretty sure she just does personal finance kind of stuff. But she did talk about, how to work your way up and how, some of the struggles that she has had. And again, that's what I think is like really cool, is because again, I don't want to read someone who's been perfect or they're a trust fund kid or they've never had any issues. Like, I want to hear about your mistakes, and I want to know that someone else acted like they were retired in their 20s too.
Yeah, I think that's what Delianne does so well, is that she is just going to say it like it is, right? She's coming to you and she's real, and she does a great job of just breaking it down and speaking to people where they are versus feeling like she's a professor walking into the room. She's coming in there like, look, I know where you guys are. You probably don't know a lot of these terms. Let me break it down for you. And she just has a very personal and like comfortable style in the way she speaks and approaches things. And so that's why she was one of my favorites in this category when I saw the finalists drop.
Well, and also, yeah, Eric.
I was going to say something I like, just as I was liking with, the last one we were talking about how it was kind of an old school blog. I really like how she uses the Instagram platform. So I know, I'm not on Instagram as much. I know that's where my wife hangs out the most, and her cousins and friends are on Instagram the most. So, everyone, there's a place for everyone. In the way Delianne I hope I'm saying it right, uses Instagram, she's really connecting with people where they're at. There are people who are hanging out on Instagram anyway. Maybe they're scrolling through, checking out the workout videos and pictures of their friends' kids. And I'm sitting here like moving my thumb up and down. You can't see it on the podcast, but I'm like scrolling and just talking about it. It's a weird reflex. But yeah, as you're scrolling through, she has good stuff there. And just looking at some recent postings, there are things about, how do you invest $100 a month? Or what can you do with $100 a month? That's something that I think for most people is a pretty relatable way to approach FIRE. Most of us aren't going to really go and cut our expenses by 97% and all of a sudden have an extra $50,000 a year to invest. But coming up with $100 a month to invest, that is something I think a lot of people can do. So the way she gets relatable and meets people where they are, I think is really nice.
Eric mentioned his wife really likes Instagram. It's not where he gets his stuff. I'm curious where you guys reliably hang out and get your personal finance fix. Athena, which platform do you like using? Not to create, but to consume.
I am also a dinosaur like Eric, so I prefer Twitter. I just love Twitter. I love the randomness of it, but I also like that people are doing the threads, and I can follow along with the threads, and I can save them and go back and be like, oh, I never thought about that.
I'm a dinosaur too, but I'm definitely not with you and Eric. I'm definitely an Instagram guy. I just, Twitter drives me crazy. I probably haven't figured out how to use it. My co-author of our book, Emily Guy Birkin, and I talked about this while we were on the road, that she loves Twitter. Her feed is positive and fun. My feed is nasty and people yelling at each other, and maybe I need to go clean it up. Chris, how about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not going on Twitter. It just depresses me every time I open that app. So I'm really a podcast person. I love podcasts. Like if I could consume all my content. Yeah, it's like, look, I got to already read to research stuff. I don't want to read to enjoy social media. Let me just lay back and relax and close my eyes or something. So yeah, I'm all about podcasts. I probably listen to way too many, but that is definitely my preferred method for bringing in that type of content.
So I'm just shocked that no one said Facebook is their favorite one.
Yeah, isn't that weird? It's so strange.
My family's on Facebook, and I try to avoid them, so no, I'm not a big Facebook.
It's interesting, though, because that's where kind of a lot of this started. And now none of us, we all still have accounts there, but we don't use it all that much. It's interesting to see how things shift over time.
Groups.
Don't sleep on MySpace either.
No.
Oh, yeah, MySpace, you never know. Justin Timberlake got involved 15 years ago. Maybe it's coming back.
Me and my buddy Tom at MySpace, right?
Justice for Tom!
I know, right. Let's talk about the last, but definitely not least brand. I talked about there's two big brands here with over 600,000 people following them on YouTube. Our Rich Journey. And Chris, you had to do a double take because you thought maybe they were relatives of yours.
Yeah, it's my sister and brother from another mother. I thought we were possibly related since we have the same last name, but no, I've never met them before, and I checked. My family doesn't know who they are. But they do amazing content. They moved to Portugal. I forgot how many years ago, but they were actually out here in California. Like me, I think they started in the Bay Area. I think they were in the Central Valley area of California for a while too. And when they achieved financial independence, they went and moved out to Portugal. And it's been really cool watching their journey, seeing what it's like. Not only being, an expat moving to another country, but also being a Black family living abroad and how their experience is different than maybe it was here in the U.S. And I think they just do a really great job of putting together some really polished video content.
Yeah, that audience, they've been in the game for a while, but also a well-deserved audience that proves that when you make stuff really well, that people will find you.
Yeah.
Anything else, Athena, that sticks out to you about their brand?
I love how candid they are and how personal they are. One of their recent videos at the time of this recording is them discussing Portugal healthcare versus American healthcare. And, I don't know too much, but I think they had a health scare and I think they've overcome it. But it was just really, it was amazing to see how just candid they are and how open they are. We don't really get a lot of that in the FIRE community. So that was nice and refreshing for me to see.
All right, so as everybody can tell, we start off the evening with, 7 strong contenders. It's the moment of truth. I'm going to ask you all 2 questions. First of all, who do you want to win this category? Let's do that one. Athena, we'll stick with you. Ladies first. Who do you want to win this category?
You mean the best first? I think I would, I know I said Delaney, so I'm going to stick with her.
Eric, who do you want to win?
I'm a little partial to Landshark because we're both Twitterites, though I like Talkan also. I think that, just for me personally, it's a really relatable story being a young dad trying to fire in an expensive place. But I'm not sure I'm necessarily trying to do the exact same FIRE journey, but there's a heck of a lot I could learn from him. And it seems like just a nice guy who's been doing it a long time.
Chris?
Oh, this was a tough one for me because I had my top 3. My top 3 were Talkan, Our Rich Journey, and Delian. But I think I got to go with Delianne. I think she's done an amazing job of really starting from scratch. She wasn't in the personal finance space at all. She was an attorney, like Athena said. And then she just built this brand up from the ground. And you can see that training from her time in the law field really paid off with the amount of research and hours she put into building this. I wanted to give it to my cousins. They're right up there with me. They're 1A and 1B. But I think Delianne, she's just done amazing work building this brand and building it up and getting to that point where she has an opportunity to work with a company like CNN. So
she's like, I'm going to negotiate the crap out of this.
Yes. Like, don't try to cheat me. I know how to read these contracts.
I'm excited for a year from now when we're getting ready for the next Plutus awards, and we find out that Chris took one of those online DNA tests and found out he actually is like fifth cousins with them or something.
I mean, I haven't met too many Brownings, so there's a chance.
I like the honesty in numbers of Rich Frugal Life. I think that's valuable to a lot of people, where you can actually, very infrequently do we get to see what somebody actually is doing, and somebody that can talk about their numbers that openly. I also like Radical Fire's, sharing the journey of not being there yet and kind of the hurdles. But I think who I want to win, because it just shows really it's her journey, and that she and still has that you can do this. But also a little bit of good coaching, actually a lot of good coaching, but in a personal side is also Delianne. So I'm going to say that I also want Delianne to win it. All right. Moment of truth though. Who do you think's going to win it? Athena, who's going to win this category?
Delianne.
Eric?
I'm going to go with Our Rich Journey.
Chris?
Oh, I think it's going to be Delianne. I think Delianne is going to take it.
I think it's going to be Delianne also.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
All right, one down. That only took us half an hour. We've got 8 more. Well, hope you guys are good for 3 in the morning. No, now that we've laid the groundwork, I think we'll be able to go a little faster here. Now we're going to go to the other side of the equation. These are people. That first award that I wanted to focus was all about reaching that fire finish line, right? Or about the journey to the fire finish line. I want to go to the other side of the equation, which is people just getting started, dipping their toe into the water. And that is best debt freedom. Eric, you've got it in front of you. Let's hear again who these are.
Better Wallet on Instagram. Debt Free Gonna Be on Instagram. Millennial in Debt on Instagram. The Avocado Toast Budget. The Broke Black Girl on Instagram.
As I was going through these, I did not know all of these brands, and I was really having a good time diving into them. Chris, were there any of these that you didn't know about, that you really did kind of a double take when you first clicked on it?
I don't know what this says about my social media habits, but I actually knew quite a few of these people.
Good.
But the one I wasn't familiar with, but I love the name, is the Avocado Toast Budget.
Yeah.
And I believe it's Alexa is the person running that site. And it was just really interesting diving in, not only because I love avocado toast, but I think one of the biggest things she stresses that I saw in her content was just being shame-free, like not judging people for where they are or what decisions they make financially. and just knowing we're all doing different stuff. We don't have to do the exact same thing. And I really resonated as a renter. I live in California where a house costs like $3 billion. She had an article talking about renting versus buying and why she loved renting. And I was like, I like people who are open to that perspective and not saying just because everyone told you growing up you had to buy a house, you just have to do that. You have to follow the prescription given to you at birth, that you have options to kind of do what works for your lifestyle. So I really liked her perspective, and I was happy I came across her. I'm going to check out more of her content.
Yeah, there's one line on her website that I love, which was, if I can do it, you can too. And I just absolutely, I love that positivity. Athena, another brand, maybe one that you hadn't seen before?
He is a speaker at FinCon this year, and that's how I first got acquainted with his content. But Mark Russell from The Better Wallet.
Oh yeah.
I really like his story. So he was in foster care, and now he is very financially successful, and he is an ex-Wall Street advisor. And so a lot of people don't know this, but I was homeless in high school. And so statistically, I should be way worse off than I am. I'm not in a bad spot. I'm actually in a good spot. So I just love seeing these kind of stories, and I love showing them to our youth that, your demographics don't determine your destiny, and you can actually go on and achieve really great things.
A lot of these creators in this category, by the way, are not just about debt. And he certainly is not just talking about debt. He also talks about investing and many other things. And like you, just like Lexi that we were just talking about, his positivity, especially when it comes to debt freedom, man, the positivity that you have of you can do this. I agree, Athena. I thought that was just fantastic and so invigorating. Eric, one that might have surprised you that you hadn't seen before?
As a light Instagrammer, this is a category that I was pretty fresh with everybody, and I really liked just like some others. The avocado toast budget really jumped out at me. I have an avocado tree in my backyard, and when a few years ago that guy from Australia was like, the reason all the millennials can never afford a house is because they're wasting all their money on avocado toast. I was like, the week before I moved into this house, and I took a picture of my avocado tree, and I was like, no, this is the secret. You just have to have an avocado tree.
Oh, so you sold all the avocados and paid off your house. That's what I'm hearing.
No, we just get free avocados for our toast. But I like. Avocado toast has been picked on as such a big thing lately. It's like the new coffee. It used to be like everyone picked on the latte factor. And avocado toast is such a millennial thing, and it's been picked on so much that I love how she leaned into that with her brand, and she made that a fun thing that you just because it costs $12 to go get avocado toast at lunch doesn't mean you can't do it once in a while. You can make it fit in your budget and still live a good life. So cheers to that as I cheers my coffee.
I don't know where the heck I've been, but I had never heard of Melissa and Millennial in Debt. And apparently I might be the last.
She's amazing.
Apparently I must be the last person on earth because 114,000 people follow her. And
apparently she's so the Beyonce of personal finance. I don't know if you were aware.
So funny. Yeah, she's so funny. And all her, like, a lot of her reels have like rap music and hip hop. I was like, get it, girl, get it.
Yes. And by the way, as a guy who's very follically challenged, Chris, I don't know about you, but I had hair envy. Hair envy. I mean,
some people just got all the luck, and hey, I'm saying, like, if you got hair, appreciate it, and she appreciates that hair because she has amazing hair.
You guys aren't bald. You're just taller than your hair.
That's exactly it.
Nice save, Eric. Nice save.
And that's why Eric and I are BFFs right there. Debt Free Gonna Be is a brand that I've been following for quite a while on Instagram and absolutely love. Following Anika, and again, somebody with a large following, 51,000 people following her and her story, her debt-free journey.
Yeah, she's really grown over time. I remember, I think I started following her when her follower count was much lower, and she just puts out consistent content like day after day. She's putting out amazing stuff, and I love that one. She has a great personality, so she's really fun to watch, but also she does a mix of like education and entertainment which I like because, I feel like I'm really old now. So I'm like, I don't want to watch people dance all the time. But she does a mixture of like really like entertaining, like trending sounds and audio and things like that. But then also I'm learning about news from her before I even see it like in my regular news feed because she's on it. I don't know how she's so fast on getting the news out right when it releases, but I'm like, you're better than a lot of these news sources that I follow.
But even besides that, some of her timeless evergreen content just cracks me up. And I hate the word content, and I just used it. But I actually laughed out loud when she posted 5 reasons why you need to stop buying dumb. Like, because she was speaking directly to me. That was so good.
Sometimes you need the truth.
You do. And again, like we did last time, guys, the person, I think with the biggest audience of everybody with over 200,000 followers, Broke Black Girl, Dasha.
Yeah, she's also someone who does, I think, really consistent content, and she's grown an amazing following on our platform. And I mean, I feel like I've seen her not only on social media, but on a ton of other podcasts, like pushing out some great information. And she is one of those people who has one of those personalities that you don't feel like you're just being lectured to. She's making it fun and interesting when she covers different personal finance topics. So it makes sense. Sometimes you see people with a huge following, you're like, hey, I wonder how they built it up. But when I see hers, I'm like, yeah, I understand 1,000,000% why people gravitate towards her content.
I just love her coaching point of view, especially when people are in debt and trying to have debt freedom. Case in point, this post where she writes, stop using social media as a financial timeline. You'll stress yourself out every time. The needle's constantly moving. Trends are always changing on social media. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself going nowhere fast. I mean, the FOMO on social media is huge. And a lot of people talk about that's why so many people ended up losing tons of money in crypto because I had so much FOMO. Real estate, people getting into real estate that haven't built a foundation yet. Nothing, by the way, wrong with crypto or with real estate. But when you haven't built a foundation and you're sitting in a place where I was back in the early 90s, you just start looking for shortcuts. And man, you got to turn that crap off. Forget the shortcuts. So love that.
You really do. Joe, if I see one more ad on a YouTube video for how to make $10 billion in real estate, I'm just going to delete my YouTube account. I can't take it anymore.
Please, no. Yes, right. Man. All right. Moment of truth. Athena, again, best first, to use your words. Who do you think? No, not who do you think. Sorry. Who do you want to win this category?
I really want Mark Russell to win.
Yeah. Eric?
I'd say avocado toast budget.
Chris?
Ooh, I was torn between debt-free gonna be and millennial and debt, but I think I'm gonna go with debt-free gonna be. I want to see her win.
That was my pick last year. This year, it scares me how much I'm agreeing with Athena so far.
You always agree with the best.
Isn't your Twitter name, or is it according to Athena?
Yeah, so it's according Athena, and I'm like, duh, because you should have I know a lot. I'm just saying.
Why would you argue with somebody who's correct almost all the time?
Exactly.
And my new Twitter feed is Athena wannabe, apparently. But I also want.
It's just a bummer that the one thing she's really wrong in is that she's not going to win the Freelancer of the Year Plutus Award because she's competing against me, and I'm. If you're not first, you're last. I'm sorry, you're going to be last.
And he's bribing everyone with avocados. So what can you do?
I'm bringing a bag of avocados to all the judges.
Okay, I see how it is. I'll bring cat pictures. Don't think I won't.
We could have seen this argument, Chris, coming from a mile away. So that's who we think is going. That's who we want to win. Who do we think is going to win? Athena?
I think millennial and debt is going to win.
Second, millennial and debt. It's she's got such a unique and fun brand. I think she stands out. She's going to be the winner.
Well, I'll say I'm going to go with millennial and debt as well, just because I want either her or Nika to win it, and I think it's a toss up. And I think Nika won last year, so yeah. I'll spread the love and say Melissa for millennial and debt for this one.
I don't know. I don't know many times we've been unanimous, but I also think that Melissa's going to win Millennial in Debt. So, wow, how about that?
Now we're going to have to, I don't know if we've ever gone back and reconciled to see if we were right or wrong.
I think that would be a disaster.
We're probably as good as betting on, I don't know, horse racing or I don't know. Is it black or red?
Yeah, if somebody's
Our
taking
panel has a 38% correct rate.
Right.
But here on this one, if we all agree, this is one I'd want to follow up and know. Well, so somebody who's listening to this way after the fact, please go back, check out who won, and send us all a note on whatever social platform we've all been pimping for ourselves, and let us know if we were right or wrong.
Yes, and I hope they don't start that tweet with the word clowns. That brings us, before we get to the 6 big ones, which are the best new and the best and the best of the big 3 categories. I wanted to have one more quick pit stop before we get there, which is best use of social media. And the reason I wanted to go there, we started with financial independence, then people beginning, and the third that we wanted to highlight for the Stacker community are who are some of these people really fun to follow on social media. So Eric, you've been the guy reading the stuff. Who do we got here?
All right, I'll do my best Chris Browning voice. Best use of social media for personal finance topics. Building bread on Twitter. Debt-free gonna be on Instagram. Delia and the Money Coach on Instagram. Mixed Up Money on Instagram. Rich by Intention on Instagram. Yo Quiero Dinero podcast on Instagram. See, I put so much pressure on myself to sound like Chris that I couldn't read people's names right.
That's right.
Your big shoes to fill.
So
I was afraid.
We agreed Millennial in Debt was going to win our last category. The first category, we had a majority thought that Delianne was going to win. So let's not discuss those two, Melissa and Delianne. Let's talk about some of the other 3. Actually, we have Nika also in this category, debt-free gonna be. So I think we've already shown a spotlight on her. So that leaves us 4 other ones. Pick one of those, Chris, and let's dive into some of these other people.
Yeah, I guess let's start at the top of the list here. Building bread on Twitter. That's Kevin Matthews, and he's the go-to investment voice when it comes to all things what's going on in the stock market. I think he just lives and breathes this. He may live at the New York Stock Exchange, I'm not sure, but he always has the info. He's covering the latest breaking topics, whether it's, the next stock split coming up. Do we have mergers? What's coming up down the pike for these companies, and how should we be expecting to see some movement? He's on it when it comes to this, and he just loves it. You can tell, and it comes through in his content, whether it be on Twitter, which he's nominated on here for. But since I hate Twitter, I see him on Instagram all the time. But he's constantly putting out, whether it's he's typing things up, putting out, the actual text posts, or he's putting video content together, talking about what's going on. Kevin, he's on it.
He's the male version of Nika. He has a secret inside, so he's always bringing out the new stuff.
I think he has phone numbers for the CEOs or something. They call him, "Hey Kevin, just so you know, we're about to drop this new earnings call." So.
He's on my Twitter follows list. So Chris, I have a question. So is your dislike of Twitter, it must be because you and Elon Musk are just not very good friends, and you're slighted.
I won't say whether or not I was very excited that he didn't buy Twitter, but also, it's just a dumpster fire when I go on there. I feel like I'm depressed 30 seconds after I open it, so I just go somewhere else.
Yesterday I was talking with Athena. We use the mute button liberally. Not when I say to liberal people politically, but we use the button a lot. I mute people on both sides of the political spectrum. I don't care who you vote for. If you're annoying, I'm going to mute you.
But what's funny, Eric, is that, when you talk about investing and you talk about personal finance, it sometimes gets not just political, but also there's social activism, and the work that he did, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think the work he did around shining a big spotlight in at least personal finance community around the Tulsa massacre, I think was
Yes.
also some great social activism that many of us needed to hear about.
Yeah, he wrote a book. He wrote a book. Yeah, he wrote a full book on the topic. It says "From Burning to Blueprint: Rebuilding Black Wall Street After a Century of Silence." That's the title. So he's out there talking about things that need to be talked about for sure.
Athena, pick out another one of the three we have left here.
I really like Angie and RJ, Money and Marriage. They're rich by intention on Instagram. I just like it sometimes. Like, I'm not a single person. Don't let my boyfriend hear that. But I really like sometimes I like learning about couples finance just because it's so different from me. And they do such a good job. And I've actually gotten to know them on the FinCon advisory panel this year. And I just think they're good people. And, they also share the wealth. Like, they interview different people. Like, Kevin Matthews is on here. Lee Huffman's on here. Brian Bristol. It's just different, perspectives. And I think they're really good at highlighting that.
I like their story too. I listened to their podcast as part of my work on the Plutus panel last year, looking at best new podcast, and it was funny meeting them last year at FinCon. I felt like a fanboy. I'm like, wait a minute, are you Angie and RJ? And then we chatted, and it was super fun. Like you said, Athena, getting to know the two of them, and they do such a good job and have such a great story. So much, rich by intention. Talk about intentional people. These guys very intentional about everything they do, and it shows. Eric, pick another one.
Yeah, one that I really like. I'm like Chris. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and Yo Quiero Dinero is one that I think is really fun. My Spanish, sorry for the gringo accent. I'm sorry if I offend you, Athena, and anyone else listening. But I think it's really important that the Spanish-speaking community gets a spotlight pointed on them for their financial needs. And she's doing a great job, and it's a fun brand. And who doesn't quiero dinero? Who doesn't want more money? She's doing great. She's fun. It's a well listened to podcast. She's doing great.
I follow Mixed Up Money and Alyssa on Instagram and find every day following her stories. She's great at talking about her own journey, but I also like the fact that she often uses Instagram in the best way to just make it a conversation and not a one-way street. Like, this is the thing about podcasting that is a little frustrating for me, is that it often is a one-way street. And I really like the social media back and forth that we can get that we don't get in podcasting. And man, the questions she gets from her community and the way she answers them, honestly, is just, it's fantastic. And so I've had a lot of fun following her. And of course, she's in one of my favorite cities, Calgary, right outside of Banff. And I think she's in Calgary, Banff and Lake Louise and that area, like the mountains. Just good stuff. Eric, I like the Canadian Rockies the same way you like Denver. So there you go.
Hey, I love Canada. I was just there a few weeks ago, speaking of my travel itinerary, hanging out with some other personal finance creators like Martin Dasco from Studentnomics. And Canada, they've got a rocking personal finance scene. I know we didn't cover it this year, but they've had their own dedicated Plutus category for Canadian creators. So, hey, Canadian Rockies, Colorado Rockies. I like all the Rockies. They're all good.
I always want to do my bad Canadian accent every time. Yes.
Don't you know?
Okay, there.
I actually did say a few times. I was in Canada for like a week and a half, and I caught myself. I said after I was there like a week. It started rubbing off on me. I'm actually wearing a Canadian T-shirt right now that I got on that trip.
They're
good people.
Well, I heard
America's hat.
Eric, I heard a good Canadian dad joke recently, which was, how do you get a bunch of Canadians out of a swimming pool? You say,
I don't know how.
You say, please get out of the swimming pool. And it's just
that would work really well.
It's just a joke about how
if they and if they took too long getting out, they'd be like, sorry.
because Canadian people are just so nice. Isn't it great to, as a country, have that reputation? It's just
it's true. And like, I've been to Vancouver and I've been to Toronto, I've been to Victoria, been to a few different parts of Canada, and I'd say they're universally nicer than Americans are living down here. So I always love to go up there and visit.
Yeah, definitely, definitely great by comparison at the very least. All right, it's the moment of truth. Who do you want to win this category, Athena?
Kevin Matthews.
Eric?
I think I'm going to agree and say Kevin Matthews.
Wow. Chris?
Yeah, I got to go with Building Bread, Kevin Matthews.
And I am going to love me some Kevin Matthews, but I'm going to go a different way. I'm going to go with Alyssa at Mixed Up Money. I'm going to do that. How about that? Who do you think is going to win? Athena?
Kevin Matthews.
I'm close on this one between Millennial in Debt or Delianne the Money Coach. I'm thinking Millennial in Debt. I think she might have a cleanup year and win a couple.
Yeah, Chris?
Oh, yeah, this is tough. This is really tough. I think Kevin has a really good shot of winning this. But if it's not him, and if I think either Delianne, Nika, or Millennial in Debt, if either one of them don't win one of their categories, I think they have a shot of winning this one.
I think I am also going to go with Millennial in Debt.
She's having a rock star year. We're all fans of her here, clearly.
Yeah.
If you're listening, we all take bribes.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're
Cash
listening.
App and Venmo.
There are no bribes in the Plutus Awards panel process.
I think the way you do
very
this,
upstanding. There are trusted elections. There is no election fraud. We don't take mail-in ballots. There's no hanging chads.
I was going to say, Eric, that if we were going to do that, we've done it wrong. We should have asked for $10 before we started recording, not after.
Darn it. That's why Athena's over there drinking her fancy name brand coffee, and I'm here drinking the one I made at home, because I didn't ask for the bribe before I started recording. See, that's a good lesson for next year.
That's what happens when you're the best.
3 categories down. We have 6 to go. We're on to the best new categories. Let's start off with best personal finance blog, because that is going to be the last category that we talk about as best blog overall. So we'll do these in reverse order. Chris, you mind doing the honors on these 5 best new personal finance blog finalists?
I don't mind at all.
Sorry. See, I was in Canada, so I had to say sorry after that.
All right, so our 5 candidates for best new blog are Too Ambitious, Anders Skagerberg, CFP, Cult of Money, Homo Money, and Lazy Fi Dad.
Eric, grab one of these and let's chat about these 5.
All right. Well, I might be a little biased because I am a writer on the site, but Cult of Money is a fantastic new site. It's owned by Robert Farrington of the College Investor. So if you're a longtime listener of the Plutus Awards special, you probably heard his name a few times. And Cult of Money is a site that he took over and is running to teach about cryptocurrencies and alternative investments. And while we are seeing, obviously a crypto winter, there's been some bloodbath happening in the crypto markets, just kind of like the dot-com bubble 20 years ago, if you remember. That's kind of what I think is happening. So at Cult of Money, we're writing about how investors can navigate that world and what they need to know. We take a very open approach to, here's the risks, don't invest more than you can afford to lose. We're not just being like, yay, crypto to the moon. And we're taking a real, neutral approach to try to help people make the best financial decisions. And that's why I think, hopefully, I say we because I write there. That's why I hope Robert beats the other 4 sites. Sorry, guys.
I also write for Robert. So, Robert, if you're hearing this, Eric and I think you're going to win and take everything.
I wouldn't need the two of them to recuse themselves from this conversation, Joe.
That's what I was thinking, Chris.
You're allowed to vote for yourself.
I'm like, now that
do you think politicians vote for the other guy? No, you got to vote for yourself.
Now that we've heard an advertisement for Cult of Money, do you? I gotta talk about owing us $10. Robert owes us some money for that. Holy cow! Chris, pick one where you're not involved.
I got one here that I didn't get paid to talk about. No, I'm joking.
I didn't get paid to talk about it. I get paid other times, and I happen to be talking about it.
No, just give me a hard time. No,
sorry.
The one I like here, the one that stood out to me, it's Too Ambitious by Stephanie O'Connell. Stephanie O'Connell Rodriguez, who do her full name. So Stephanie, she's been doing a lot of work around like money and ambition, especially for women, and the penalty that women pay for their ambition and speaking up about what they want. And I think she just does a really good job of talking about a topic that doesn't often get addressed. It kind of gets swept under the rug. People just say, oh, just if you want something, if you want more money, just ask for it. But that doesn't just work for everyone. You can't just say, oh yeah, everyone just do this and you're going to be great. You're going to make great income. You're going to get the raise you want, because it's been proven time and time again that women aren't treated the same way in the workplace and aren't given the same opportunities. So I think she does a really great job of shining light on that, and especially with this blog and the content she's very consistently putting out, covering this topic. And just really, I think I've learned a lot from reading the content she puts out. And I even had a conversation with her about, I did an episode with someone talking about, how to ask for a raise. And someone was like, what can they do? If you ask for more, what can they say? No, there's no big deal. She said she's talked to many women who said, I want more money if I take this role. And they say, well, you know what? We're taking that job offer back. So I think it's really great to have these different perspectives, the different topics covered. So that way, for someone who isn't in this person's shoes or I can't see things from a woman's perspective, I get to learn and broaden my understanding and bring that to what I do and what I make. And I always appreciate that.
I love how she brings such a bold voice to the topic, and she's not afraid and not apologetic, and she doesn't have to be. It's an important topic to shine light on, and she comes there with the real numbers and transparent stories from real people. It's she's not coming out there with opinions. This is not disputable stuff she brings out, and she says it confidently, and I admire that.
It's hard out here for a pimp. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I've been told so many things, I feel because I'm a woman in the workplace, this is mainly why I quit my job, but they told me, I said, can I have a raise? And they said, you should be lucky you have a job in this economy.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm. You should be lucky you have a job. And so that was it. That was done.
I think this is
that
where
company should feel lucky they have employees, if that's how they think of people and talk to people, because no one that I know would want to work for them.
I think this is where the Great Resignation came from. It was enough people just going, you know what? I don't need this.
Exactly.
There's better bosses out there. Like we've just today had record hiring numbers again come out in a news report. So there are jobs happening. If you need a better boss, they're out there.
You know who's a great boss? Robert Barrington. Just saying, Robert. That's me and Eric.
I was about to call on you, Athena, to pick a different one. Is there a different one that we could talk about, that you could talk positively about?
I love Homo Money. I'm very involved in the LGBTQ community as an ally, but I also am I'm a child of LGBTQ parents. And so I really love that there's just more people getting involved. There's more people talking to these underserved communities. It's kind of scary when you really niche down to a certain community because you think that other people are going to overlook you. But I really like how he is in this category, and his advice is a lot that we can all take for what it's worth.
I met Jeff in San Diego on my book tour. And just a fantastic guy, just an amazing guy, but something that, because I wasn't familiar at all before that with his site, and he and I had never met. And when I heard the name of his site, Homo Money, I have to say, I found the term offensive, not from him and his site. I've just always found the term offensive, and the way that he's taken that term back And the way that he said, nope, we're going to own it. We're going to own this term. And it is now, and I'll let people go to the site and learn what it's all about, but just powerful, and what a great individual. And yeah, absolutely love some Jeff Underwood, just a super, super human being.
So you're obviously going to be biased towards homo money, though, because if you pull it up, it says, as seen on the first site, the Stacking Benjamin Show. So I think there's a little bribery going on that way, too.
You know what? We're going to need someone to come through here and review this panel.
It's really good that we are not actually the people who single-handedly pick all of the winners. Clearly, it's really it's a great process, and it's people work very, very hard behind the scenes to make it very fair and equitable and transparent. If people are curious how it works, but it's fun to play and joke when we're here on the show with all the stackers.
we got two other great new blogs here, though. I mean, Lazy Fi Dad. Anybody that writes a blog post called "I Want to Be a Better Dad," like just the journey, the discussions on the site. What a great new voice.
Yeah, I mean, being the dad with the young kids, as I keep mentioning, that one is very relatable to me, and I like the black and green theme. You know, I love the money colors, and yeah, who doesn't want to be? If you're a parent, who doesn't want to be a better parent? It's nice. Just like we were talking in a category or two ago, seeing the sites kind of go back to the old school. Here's my story. Here's what it's all about. Here's what I'm trying to do in my life. And maybe you can learn something from it. I like how the Lazy Fi Dad takes that approach.
Yeah, and I love one of the quotes on his About page is, I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. And that speaks to my soul as a current lazy person.
Well, just the analogies overall, Chris. I mean, another great blog post header. Listen to this one. When you encounter a bear market, act dead. Like, just the storytelling.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, is so good. Play dead when you're around a bear market. That brings us to Andrew Skagerberg. Yes.
Anders.
I'm sorry. Yes. But for a guy, by the way, who has been writing for 9 months.
Yeah. 9 months on a Substack, which if you're, I think Substack is kind of an interesting place that has emerged recently. It's like the email version of a blog.
Yeah.
And if you don't, in the age where Google Reader has been dead for so long that some of the listeners here probably weren't even born yet when Google Reader was working, of having an email blog from something like Substack is actually a pretty cool way to connect to people. It feels kind of like the written version of a podcast where you're really getting directly to a person rather than shouting through a megaphone like on social media or a blog where anybody can get there. It feels a little bit more private and personal. And having that experience with a CFP, someone who definitely has the credentials and knows their stuff about money, isn't something a lot of people might have had before. So it could be a cool on-ramp into the personal finance world. And also that he's into Coast-Fi. I'm not one of those people that's into all the different like financial independence terms like barista fire and coast fire and whatever they're coming up with.
Dumpster fire,
exactly. But that he the idea behind Coast-Fi being more or less you've hit your retirement account balance level that you shouldn't have to contribute anymore in that capacity. That's a realistic goal for more people, I think, than I'm going to cut 95% of my expenses and live on, $7 a day. In the United States, that's almost impossible, but we see FIRE people trying to do that. And the Coast-Fi, view from a CFP that's going to be more attainable, more realistic and relatable for a lot of people. So yeah, good to see someone with a different platform from Substack on the list too.
Something that I think any new creator can learn from Anders is that he posted a lot for the first couple months, and then he went through that bump, I think, that every creator has. But luckily, he got back on the horse in May and has been very consistent since May. doing it. And I think there's that initial excitement that we all have when we're a brand new creator. We're like, oh, I got it. And then all of a sudden you feel like you've puked out everything, to use maybe the worst analogy possible, that you have. But really, and for a lot of us, that's when the good stuff really, really happens, is when you feel like you have nothing left. And then it gets really raw and really good. And he definitely now has become a consistent voice, which is cool. I hope he keeps it up.
And once you're like 4 or 5 months in, you're like, yeah, I mean, I can't write 7 ways to save money on groceries anymore. So I'm just going to post a screenshot of my bank account and my investment account, let the internet have at it. And hopefully I'll get a few new followers out of it. Right?
But then you do see, right? I mean,
that stuff it's good stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny because you think, wow, I put all this time into this one. Then you show your bank account and it takes 25 seconds and it blows up because that's what people want to see. I mean,
because most people aren't willing to show their bank account. Like we're all used to talking about money all day. I always think it's funny when I'm with my personal finance friends and my super close friends are just used to me talking about money all the time. Like I'm literally looking at a stack of like 7 credit cards in front of me. Like, oh, when we go to dinner, I'm like, what credit card did you use to pay? Oh, that's not the best miles and points. You know, like people don't always feel comfortable with that. But having conversations like this, I hope more people listening and reading all these sites are willing to break down those taboos, because if we share off what's in our bank accounts a little bit more, maybe the whole world can kind of rise up together. We can learn from each other's good and bad. And that's kind of what we're seeing with some of these sites, right? Is you run out of the generic stuff to say and get more raw and personal. That's when you're getting on these Plutus top lists. You know, the people who are very generic aren't getting recognized the same way. The people who are willing to be unique and transparent and have their own voice, those are the ones that I'm seeing really stand out. Those are the ones that we're picking. So if you want to be a future Plutus nominee or winner, that's my advice. Be your genuine self, and don't be afraid to be transparent. Put those numbers out there.
Well, and I hope that by shining a light on these 5 names, they continue, because it is getting in this pace. It's a marathon, not a sprint. All right. Who do you want to win? Athena?
I would like Too Ambitious to win.
Eric?
I'd say I want, clearly biased, Cult of Money to win because I'm involved. But if I were taking that one out of the running and had to pick one of the others, I might also say Too Ambitious. I think Stephanie's doing some cool stuff.
Damn it. I mean Cult of Money.
Well, too late. They already canceled that check.
Well, yeah.
No! He just rewrote it to me.
Well, I was going to say, like you, Chris, they need to both recuse themselves like Eric did. So, Chris, who do you think, or who would you like to have win?
Well, who I want to have win is going to be Too Ambitious. But to share the love, I'm going to say Homo Money, Jeff over there. I think I'd love to see him win.
Yeah, that's who I want to see win is Mr. Underwood. So who do you think is going to win, Athena?
Too Ambitious. Sorry, Robert.
Eric?
Ditto. I think Too Ambitious is it's her year.
Chris?
I'm going with Too Ambitious, of course. But, full disclosure, I have worked with Stephanie in the past. I feel like I have to just lay that out there. But we didn't work together on this.
She's fabulous, and I think it's a great site. And we're unanimous on another one, guys. How about that? Too Ambitious, I think, takes this one home. All right.
I don't like agreeing with you guys that much. I think I'm going to change my mind. Sorry, Stephanie. No, I really do think she's doing great. Best
New Personal Finance Podcast presented by Steve Stewart. Chris, you want to do the honors here for one of my, you shouldn't have a favorite category, but as a guy who identifies as a podcaster, this might be one of my favorite too.
Well, I love this one. I was fortunate enough to win it, 5 years ago or 4 years ago, how long it was. So our 5 finalists for Best New Podcast are Financial Feminist, Mom Autism Money, Profit on the Margins, Rich by Intention, and Wealth Saver Podcast.
All right, Chris, as a fellow podcaster, let's pick one and talk about it.
Ooh, I was going through these. I actually was listening to all of these shows earlier this week. And you know what? One that I hadn't heard of that I was like, oh, I'd be interested in listening to more of this because I heard of most of these, was the Wealth Saver podcast.
Yeah,
it's hosted by
me too.
CJ and Hank. Have you listened to them? They have amazing chemistry. They have this really great back and forth. I think one of them lives in, I believe, in Australia. One's here in the States. And I love hearing two co-hosts who feel like they're friends and have like just great back and forth. There's not the awkwardness that sometimes you have when, it's two people kind of getting to know each other. I feel like they've known each other for years. I don't know how long they've known each other, but they do a really great job of just kind of getting into the topic, giving you that nice banter up front. So you get like comfortable, you're really connected with what they're talking about. And then they dive into some other topics. So I just really enjoyed their tone. They sound very polished already to be a new podcast. And this is the one that I'm definitely going to continue to check out and hear more what they have going on.
Yeah, I'm with you. I felt like a fly on the wall in a just a great conversation. Good stuff. Athena, how about you?
One podcast that I learned more about, I've known Bryn Conway for like a while, but I am new to her Mom Autism Money podcast. And I'm really interested in this because I started writing for Slate, and I get a lot of questions about what do I do for a special needs person in my trust. And so I am excited to listen to this podcast more and learn about ABLE accounts and, how you can just get your family, like how to have your family successful without you is different if you are neurodivergent. And so I think that that's just a really important topic that we need to discuss more.
This is
that was a really interesting one.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh no, I was gonna say, this was a really interesting one. I've known Britain for a few years, and I didn't know she had a podcast. And I have an uncle who's on the spectrum. I have other family members who have children who they're also care for. And I didn't know this resource was out there, so I would love to pass this podcast along to them because you don't know as a parent, how would you be prepared to know how to navigate these situations? So I think it's a really great resource.
Same.
This is what I love, just diving in and serving this niche community. I think a lot of times when people start a new brand, they think I got to have this big speak to everybody thing. And that's so difficult to be, and frankly, being everything to everybody. Not something I think that serves a lot of people, but when you can pick an audience and serve it as much as these two ladies do, I think it's, just wonderful.
Actually, I might even expand what you're saying there to all of these. If you look at the whole list, each one of these is targeting such a different audience. And as I was just saying a moment ago, they all have such a unique voice and they're proud of that voice and being who they are. So we look at these topics. We have Rich by Intention. They're a couple, kind of family, money, marriage, career, financial feminist. And that's she's been on fire these last couple of years, and she's really focusing on those young women who are building their financial futures. We've got Wealth Saver, more investment style. They were talking about NFTs recently and business credit, all sorts of different kind of more general business and finance. Profit on the margins, as we were saying, LGBT community, autism, neurodivergent. They're just it's so cool to see how many different people the financial world is now speaking to. I love that. I hope no one's feeling left out. If anyone's feeling left out, you should go start the blog or podcast for that niche.
Wait a minute. And I just realized, Chris, when you were talking about podcasts, you mixed up two of them. You're talking about CJ and Hank. That's Profit on the Margins.
I have my notes mixed up there. Yeah,
yes.
It was Profits on the Margins.
It is Profit on the Margins, yes. Yep. Because what I really like about Wealth Saver was actually what I said, but it's true for Profit on the Margins as well. Wealth Saver, a man and woman, and she is, that average person interested in money topics. He's a financial professional, and just the discussion back and forth between the two of them, I really felt like I'm a fly on the wall, but really enjoyed their discourse.
Yeah, I should have proofread my notes here before I started talking, like I knew what I was saying.
Well, it is funny because when you talk about two friends, I'm like, yes, they are. And it's great that they're in two different places. And then you start Australia. I'm like, is one of them Australian? I didn't know that. Yes, that's right. Yeah. All right. Who do we think is going to win this category? Nope. Who do we want to win this category, Athena?
I would really like Mom Autism Money to win.
Oh, that would be great. Eric?
Gosh, for considering we go head to head in the freelancer one, we seem to agree a lot elsewhere, Athena. Bryn, I've known a long time. I think she's great. She's a real hustler and works hard, and it's a great cause that she's speaking to. I was about to say writing to, that she is speaking to on the podcast. So I did say I want Bryn at Mom Autism Money to win.
Chris?
Oh, this was a tough one. Yeah, I was going back and forth between Mom Autism Money and Profit on the Margins now that I'm using the correct name for their podcast. So since I've already messed up in my introduction, I'm going to say I want Profit on the Margins to win.
Well, and how about this one? I'm going to go with Angie and RJ at Rich by Intention. I like their show. I like their chemistry. I like what they do, and would love to see them win. But now the moment of truth. Who do we think's going to win, Athena?
Feminist finance.
Eric?
I'll say financial feminist.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
it's funny that we agree again either way.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Chris?
This is tough. I think for winners, I also am a fan of these shows, Financial Feminists with, and I think it's Rich by Intention. Those are the two that I think are very polished at this stage already for new shows. It's hard going back and forth. I'm going to give it to Rich by Intention just because I haven't talked about them on there. And they do a really great interview-based show.
Yeah.
They feature a lot of different voices from the community. They do one of my favorite things is that when they ask someone a question and they respond, the guest responds, they then respond to the guest's answer. One of my pet peeves is when I listen to a podcast, the guests answer their question. They say, all right, next question. They just move on. Boom. And I think they do a great job of like making a conversation and bouncing back and forth with their guests.
I think the committee here is going to do the right thing, because I think that when you have a niche and you serve it really well, and the amount of time, Eric, you talked about, it's a smaller group that gets to dive into all these. And when they dive into the background and dive into what these people are really doing and how they're serving their community, man, I think it's going to be Mom Autism Money. I think that's going to be it. I think, and you guys are looking at me like,
no, I think that's a great pick. I think it's well deserving, and they're serving a very niche community that doesn't have as many resources.
Yeah.
But I think we talked about Tori much, but she I mean, if you want to hear someone who knows how to speak on a microphone and knows how to tell a story and connect with their listeners, I don't think there's very many people who do it better than Tori does.
I think what's interesting about this, though, we've got first time I think we've had 3 different picks who we think is going to win, so that'll be an interesting category.
So we'll see. We'll have to see.
And that brings us to the last of the best news, which is best new video. Eric, you got this one for us?
Sure. I'll do my best Athena voice. Best new personal finance video. No, sorry. Best new personal finance video channel. Bobby Rebell on TikTok. Foolproof Financial Freedom on YouTube. My Wall Street on TikTok. Frugal on TikTok, and V Frugal Fox on TikTok. See, I think it's interesting here.
The TikTok
has 4 out of the 5, and 5 years ago we weren't talking about TikTok.
Yeah,
it's really come out to be the place, and it was funny through COVID. Like my non-creator friends were like, "I'm on the TikToks," and I started seeing like the hashtag TikTok made me buy it. And like a whole like video series based on the psychology of TikTok algorithms and purchases. So it's definitely changing the way we do business as creators. It's changing the world for sure. Whether you like it or not, the TikTok is a big deal.
Can I? So this is a woman that I've worked with for a long time. I'm going to kick this one off myself. I've called on you guys for every other category first. I've worked with this woman for a long time. I was so excited to see her on here. I just love Bobby Rebell. She's so, we all talk about, we have our favorites. Bobby, when we did a podcast together for quite a while, it was so fun working with her. And to see Bobby on this list on TikTok, where she does not yet have a big audience. She has 600 followers. But you look at what she's putting out there on TikTok, some great stuff by somebody who, like me, has had to learn TikTok. Like I wasn't born with the phone in my hand, and Bobby I think is younger than I am, but still Gen X contributor to the personal finance space. And so seeing Bobby Rebell on here with her fantastic voice in the community, the whole financial grown-up stuff is amazing. Chris, let's shine a light on another one.
Oh, I'll second what you said about Bobby. She's done so much amazing work. So for her to be able to move over to a new space, which is always hard to do, I give anyone a lot of credit for taking on TikTok and the beast that is. I'll go with someone who I wasn't familiar with. And they were the one YouTube channel on here, so I was interested to check them out. So Foolproof Financial Freedom, I believe it's Avanti I hope I'm saying her name correctly. She runs that channel, and she just put together some really nice long form content, which is, we're seeing a lot of content shifting to the shorter, TikTok under 3-minute format. But I'm still a fan of some longer form content because some things need a little bit longer to explain. And I just like that she's tackling the YouTube space, jumping in there and really being consistent and putting together some nice content.
And I love, Chris, again, how the committee really respected the word new, these new voices. Bobby's voice has been around, but in a new area. Avanti, 153 followers. But then you look at the stuff that she's making, just great videos. Athena?
Oh, yeah. Another one that's crossed over that isn't new in personal finance, but new in TikTok is Frugal. Many of us have known Jason for a long time. He does great work. He has the book, the YOLO personal finance book. He's done a few tours. So seeing him take on the bite-sized content's kind of fun. When I look at the TikTok stuff, I'm like, now the personal finance community can help contribute to the world having ADHD by creating 15-second long bite-sized content.
Jason will be very proud of me, by the way. If you follow Jason on social media, you know that he does a lot of yoga, and I did yoga for the first time today, and it kicked my ass. It's great.
Jason, yoga is no joke.
Oh my goodness.
I used to make fun of yoga as like this hippie thing.
Yes.
And then I tried it and I was like, wow, this is exercise. This is not some funny, it's great.
And Eric, we got out of there and my whole body shaking, and Cheryl, my spouse who was with me, was like, see, and it was the easy one. I'm like, easy? What the hell are you talking about easy?
I almost threw up doing downward dog.
Yeah, but you'll see Jason with a lot of yoga poses on social. Athena, let's shine a light on another one.
I also do yoga, and it is no joke. And that's all I wanted to say. But I have ADHD, and it's the only time I'm alone with my thoughts. So that's when I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, or oh, I don't like that person. So it's a double-edged sword for me, the yoga.
I may go back though, Athena, to yoga because I'm new at it. I'm going to go back to just doing yogurt or frozen yogurt. That's considerably easier and still fun, way fun.
I love frozen yogurt. One of the things I also love is one of the people on this list, My Wall Street. I had never heard of her. She has 33,000 followers. That's not the reason I like her. The reason I like her is because she actually gives actionable, bite-sized advice. So she does talk about investing a lot. But then she's also talking about changes in the economy, like Elon Musk, Tesla's cutting their Bitcoin, Shopify is laying off a bunch of their workers. It's just that kind of stuff. And that I'm interested in that because people think investing is just stocks and index funds and ETFs, but there's so much more that goes into the market. So to know some of these things in advance really helps you manage your portfolio better.
Man, me too. I immediately followed her.
I like that she's this is going to make me sound like a dinosaur again, but when I started this, I felt like I was the young guy getting into this new personal finance world, and is not the youngest guy around the block anymore. It's fun to see new, younger voices and faces getting involved. Looking at her channel, I'm not trying to be ageist, either way, young or old, but I like seeing the younger creators. A long time ago when Eva Baker got started focusing on high school kids, that was a pretty unique thing. And just anyone focusing on that, really the younger new grad crowd is a great thing because it's so needed. Those are the people who need to learn about personal finance the most, almost them and your retirees who hadn't yet. So I love seeing these younger creators.
Don't get it twisted, though. Eric and I are still very hip, and we're still very with it. Thank you very much.
Oh, totally. I'm really cool. Did I mention I'm a DJ? Like sometimes, I'm like, just because I have gray beard doesn't mean I'm not cool.
Yeah, we just refocus people. Yes. Last but not least on here, it's funny because we have My Wall Street on one hand, really talking about investing, but like you said, Athena, lots of other things. But on the other side, really on more of the paying off debt, budgeting stuff. V Frugal Fox. I like the honesty in V's channel.
Yeah, V does a really good job of just like laying that out there. Like, look, this is the stuff I've struggled with. Here's where I'm at in my journey. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is what it is. And I think that's where she's always excelled in being genuine, which, sometimes hard on social media.
And some of these are funny, like unrealistic things I want for Christmas. I've been there, V. I have been there. I'm there every year. Yes.
I put hair on the list every year, Joe, and it never shows up.
Know, right? I want hair now.
It's not that you're losing your hair. You're just getting more head.
Wow. Wow. Hold on. Yeah, I think I got it. There it is. Wow. I didn't see that coming. That's good.
Oh, man.
Fabulous. All right, to round out the best new, let's see what you guys think. Athena, who do you want to win this category?
I would really like Wall Street to win.
Eric?
I'd say I want Frugal to win because Jason's my buddy. But if I were taking out friend biases, I might also say My Wall Street. I think it's a pretty cool brand.
Yeah, I want, and I can't get rid of the friend bias, I want Bobby Rebell to win. and Chris, sorry, I jumped in there. Jeez.
Oh, no, it's okay. I mean, so you guys already covered me for Jason and Bobby, who, I know both of them, they're great. So I'm going to go with Avanti over at Foolproof Financial Freedom, because doing the long form content when everyone's going to TikTok, we got to reward that.
Great videos. All right, Chris, we're going to go the opposite way now. Who do you think is going to win?
Ooh, I think My Wall Street, because I think she's doing TikTok the best. And the sheer amount of content I've seen on her account, I think you got to reward that.
Eric?
Yeah, I might say My Wall Street too. Yeah, just like you, when I click on it, it just instantly makes me want to subscribe. And I'd say that is the kind of site that's going to win.
Athena?
I also think Wall Street's going to win.
Yeah, this one's unanimous as well. The second I got there, Eric, you put it very succinctly. I was like, nope, that's a follow. That's definitely a follow. Well-presented channel. Great work.
Because I don't like that we're getting along so well today. Got to remember that freelance category again, Athena, that you're going down, just so we can have a little more friction.
Okay, so who writes for 3 of the best blog of the year websites? It's me.
I don't know. We're going to have to get to the best blog of the year category to find out.
There's one overriding thing. Athena writes for 3 of them. So, and that takes us to the big 3. These are the best of the year categories in video, in podcasting, and in blog. And I know it's a tradition that Harlan and the Plutus team have to end with Best Blog. Best Blog has been the category that's been around the longest and is kind of the cornerstone. However, this is a podcast, damn it. So the last one we're going to do is Best Podcast, because that's the best one, period.
That's right.
Yeah. Hell yeah, it is.
I like blog, podcast, and video channel equally. I think they're all excellent platforms.
Well, we're gonna well, and I think, Eric, I know you're joking, but still, as a creator, you guys have all seen it. We talked about how veteran we all are over the time that we've been doing this. You're no longer a podcaster. You're no longer a video person. You're no longer a blogger. Like, you are multimedia if you're doing it. Like, you are kind of where your audience is.
That's true.
Like
you gotta be everywhere.
Yeah.
If you're on Broadway, it's the triple threat: acting, singing, and dancing. If you are on the internet, it's the triple threat: blogging, podcasting, and videoing.
Yes. I can't dance, which is why my YouTube channel has not yet made it. But when I do, you're going to see a picture of me like dancing where I like the one where people point, but I also respect the fact that I'm way too old to be doing the pointy thing. So I'm always going to point at the wrong place and the words are going to show up like someplace else. I think that's going to be my TikTok contribution.
You don't know how much money I would pay for that, Joe. And if you start a Patreon and it's just you dancing, I will be your first.
It's starting to sound like OnlyFans.
I don't know why. That scene from Napoleon Dynamite is popping into my head when he's doing the dance moves in front of the school. I can picture Joe doing that.
Oh yeah, like this.
Just in his mom's basement.
Oh boy. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Getting down like only
hanging
I
out,
can.
Joe hanging out in his mom's basement with neighbor Doug doing some dance moves.
On that awkward note, let's go into it. Let's do Video Channel of the Year presented by Capital Group. The Big 10, Mr. Browning, you want to give us these?
I would love to. All right. Our Big 10 are Building Bread on Instagram Reels, Debt Free Gonna Be on Instagram Reels, I Like to Dabble on TikTok, Investing Latina on Instagram Reels, Let's Talk Money on YouTube, Minority Mindset on YouTube, Miss Be Helpful on Instagram Reels, The College Investor on TikTok, Wealth Hacker on YouTube, and Well Behaved Wallet on YouTube.
Wow. Just
that's a list.
Simply wow. Athena, want to shine a light on one of these 10?
Of course. I am going to go for Building Bread on Instagram Reels. Again, I think he has like a covert mission with the CIA. His stuff is always up to date. And he's really funny. So if you're funny, I'll pay attention to you. If you're boring, I'm like, next.
Yeah. Super fun brand. And I think well-deserved that we're seeing Kevin on multiple lists this year. Chris, shine a light on another one for us.
Oh, there's so many good ones on here. So Athena, I'm happy you took Building Bread because, Kevin's always one of my favorites. I'm going to go with Miss Be Helpful, Yaneli. She always has had a really great way of presenting material. I know she's getting more into reels now, but I used to watch them for long form content. I know she's done a lot of financial education with the younger generation. So that kind of makes sense that she's really embracing this type of social media. And I mean, she not only is she entertaining, but she's extremely knowledgeable. I mean, she's been talking about this stuff and teaching it for years. So she's always been one of my favorites. So I definitely want to give her a shout out on this one.
Eric?
Yeah, I'd say one that I've noticed has been doing well lately is I Like to Dabble. I was actually lucky to be able to interview Daniela recently on a free online summit from the Plutus Awards. If anyone wants to check out the Plutus Impact Summit, I think all the videos will be out there for free.
Yeah.
And she's doing some really cool stuff on I Like to Dabble. I started actually my career now as a full-time freelancer. I started it as a side hustle, and I am a serial side hustler. I love the side hustle world, and that's pretty much what I Like to Dabble is all about. For the very long time, she said, I will never quit the full-time job. I just want to keep doing all the different side hustles. And congrats, she actually recently did take the side hustles full-time. It draws you in, the side hustle to full-time thing. And so that's a pretty cool thing. And she's doing that on TikTok.
I love how, again, the committee has picked all size communities and people that serve different audiences. I think it's so exciting to watch how these people in different ways and in different mediums influence their audience. One of the biggest audiences on here, of course, is Minority Mindset. Jaspreet Singh and his team just do a fantastic job. Got to do a shout out to Jaspreet because he's in Detroit, where I'm from. So
put your hands up for Detroit.
Duh. Yeah.
That lovely city.
It's fantastic work. And I'm glad that we saw a brand like Jaspreet's on here, because while Jaspreet has been to FinCon one time as a keynote speaker, to see somebody that, a community of influencers and creators that generally know a lot about each other. Jaspreet hasn't spent a lot of time in that community. So to have somebody who's a great name and a great creator like Jaspreet making videos and that they recognize, I think is good. And by the way, I love the name Minority Mindset the same way I love Homo Money, because Minority Mindset, just like Homo Money does not mean what you think it means, Minority Mindset does not mean what you think it means. I love the idea of think like the minority, that we're thinking in terms of asset building. Let's be in the minority. Just absolutely love that. It's great to create this club of people that get it. Fantastic. Athena, back to you. How about another one?
I'll take one for the team. For me and Eric, we have the college investor this year.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to send that email after the last discussion.
The college investor. But it's not me doing any of the TikToks, which I'm kind of sad about. But it's Justine Nelson and it's Andy Hill, and they do such an amazing job with like their face, like their presentation and like their little skits that they do. They do a really good job with it, and it's very entertaining.
And for people that
Andy's super fun.
Well, and for people that don't get the connection here, the college investor, Robert Farrington, is the same person that created the brand that we were talking about earlier, Cult of Money. And Robert behind both of them. And what's cool about Robert is he's just such a community person. And talk about shining a light. The Plutus Award shines a light on a lot of voices. Robert tries to do the same thing with his brands. So that's the...
And he's legitimately a kind person, and that's what I really like about like knowing him over the years and seeing him blow up. Like, he's legitimately a kind person, and I don't know, and I would say that even if I wasn't working for him, but he's legitimately a kind guy, and I appreciate him.
Yeah, I will second that. Robert does not pay me anything, and he is still a nice guy to me.
Robert, you're going to have to
And he lives in California, so he's doing something right.
Robert, you're going to have to give me $10 for me to say that about you. No, I'm kidding.
Every time we mention one website that he owns or his name, he has to owe you something. Or people can make up a drinking game, like the old Star Wars drinking games. Like every time like Luke Skywalker whines, you have to take a shot. Every time we mention something Robert Farrington owns. There you go, everyone. You just had to take another one.
That's your drinking game for this podcast episode.
We just made it up right here.
We already shined a light earlier on Nika at Debt Free Gonna Be, but not specifically with Reels. And it's great to see her in this list when it comes to video as well. And as a guy that's been following her brand for a long time, I always love it when I come across a Debt Free Gonna Be reel that's in my feed. Some good stuff there. Chris, how about another one?
Another one who I really enjoy their work, it is Investing Latina. She's been doing this for a while as well, and she's built up an amazing following. She's very consistent, and I don't know, I like watching people on social media who have just really engaging personalities and just kind of draw you in. And anytime I see any of the content she puts out, I always feel that way. It's like, I want to hear some more. Like, what's the next thing that she's going to put out? And she just has been, I think, really taking advantage of the platform and using it to its fullest.
Athena, I have to say, over the last, 6, 7, 8 years, the strong women serving the Latina community is just, it's exciting to see, and it's got to be exciting to be in that community of just these great influence. It's so empowering to see these great women helping each other and helping that community.
I remember the very first FinCon I went to was 2012 in Denver, and I only counted, I was the only Latina there. Yeah. And then in St. Louis, I was one of 2 Latinas there. Amanda Abella was there. And so it's just been really, cool and, I'm just so proud of the personal finance community and how diverse we've become.
It is fantastic. Eric, how about another one? Let's shine a light on another one of these finalists.
Sure. I don't think we've talked about Hack Your Wealth yet. That one comes from Jeff Rose. Yeah, so Jeff disclosure, I do work with him a little bit over at Good Financial Sense. We all, it's a very incestuous community in the personal finance world. We all work with each other as freelancers on something or something else. Like in music, like you hear, I don't know, Pitbull has done a collaboration with everybody. I'm trying to be like the Pitbull of freelancing about money, so I'm trying to work with everyone out there. No.
I'm the Nicki Minaj of freelancing. That's how we're gonna go.
I like that. Sound the alarm. So anyway, Jeff Rose at Hack Your Wealth. I really like his channel. It's cool. I know he spends a lot of time and a lot of work on quality and making sure the videos they look nice. Presentation skills. He doesn't just want it to be. He tries to do the whole gambit, the content and the presentation. And he's a CFP. I don't think he works actively as a financial advisor much anymore, but he has a background as a financial advisor, and he's a veteran, and he draws on both of those experiences, both as a veteran from Iraq, and he tries to really relate to people. Again, comes to people where they are, and it's a great brand. He's very consistent. He's been doing this a long time. He knows his stuff. So, and I enjoy watching his videos. So, yeah.
He may be. Is he, you think, the most OG creator on any of these lists? Would you put Jeff Rose near the very beginning?
He's one of the older ones.
I would think, because
we have
you and Athena,
not
you
older
guys,
in age.
No, but
older
you guys
in length of
yeah, that's what I
creation.
mean. You and Athena 2008. I think Jeff was already, with Good Financial Sense, already a pretty well established brand in 2008 online.
I think
He's definitely been around. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the personal finance elders, like me and Eric.
Yeah, so to see him, to see him on this list, and other people have only been here a few years again, is pretty exciting. I'd like to talk about another guy who maybe isn't an OG, but certainly a veteran whose name we've seen a lot increasingly, and that's Joseph Hogue and the Let's Talk Money channel. And here's a guy who I know from talking with him at FinCons. He works so hard on this channel and has been working on it for so long that to see him on this list is pretty exciting. And you look at his videos, I mean, that bow tie is now iconic in our little section of the universe.
That bow tie alone should get a Plutus award.
I had a video chat with him also for that Plutus Impact Summit recently. And when he got on, he was just wearing a T-shirt. He didn't have his bow tie on like YouTube. And I was confused. I was like, what's going on here? It's like, I don't know. It's like when it's raining outside and you live in Southern California. You just don't know what's going on or how to deal with it.
So you almost didn't recognize him.
The bow tie is the talent. It has to get a break. He has to sign a contract before he gets him on camera.
Yeah, he's bow ties aside, his content is really fantastic, and his videos are fun to watch, and it's good to see that that hard work is turning into success with now over 500,000 subscribers. It's nice to see hard work pay off. I remember when he was just starting this out and he was trying to connect to other video creators and learn everything he could. And now the tables have turned, and he's the one being interviewed for how to create a successful YouTube channel on finance. So there's definitely a reason he's on this list.
And I think the only one we haven't talked about, and this is, again, not least, but just the last one we're talking about, Well Behaved Wallet. This is actually, it's funny because we've been talking about the OGs in this space. This is a fairly young channel, 7,500 subscribers. Don't get me wrong, that's a heck of a lot of subscribers.
Yeah,
but definitely somebody who's emerged on the scene lately.
Yeah, if you look, she actually doesn't have that many videos out yet. She's just recently passed a dozen. But if you click on them, they're good. She's done half-hour-long videos. That's not an easy a feat for a new YouTuber. I've done some videos. It's not always that quick of a thing. So that she's come out of nowhere and built this channel, and has built 500 subscribers per video on average.
She actually has two channels. She has a second channel.
If you click on it, if you click on it, she has like a ton of content. It's not just I know I was confused.
So just
by
edit
that
out
too.
what I just said.
Well, I have to say this, and it is interesting too. You know, one thing that we haven't talked about at all here yet today, and I'm kind of surprised, is just the value of streaming, right? And this is the first channel where I've seen that she relies a lot on streaming, which is really fun. I think it's a whole separate talent to get out there live in front of a group of people, and instead of some of the pre-produced stuff that our people made. Don't get me wrong, I don't think one's better than the other. But I do think that they're different mediums, and she's got this streaming presence that I don't know that I'm seeing on. And is there anybody else on this list who's really strong in streaming?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Maybe next year we'll see someone from Twitch or one of those big streamer platforms come on here.
Is there much finance on Twitch? I'm not on Twitch. Is there financial content on Twitch?
I hop in from time to time. There is some I've seen on there, but I'm not a big Twitch person either.
I know it's mostly video games, but it means there's opportunity for personal finance.
There it is. We can teach them.
One of my favorite things on Twitch, there's a Saturday Night Sumo, if you're looking for something to do. I don't know how I was recommended or stumbled upon that, but if you're wanted to watch some sumo wrestling, I like to sit down with the kids.
I think it's funny. One of my favorite video games is Stardew Valley, where you're building a farm. And maybe if you went to the Stardew Valley community and you were teaching them like the budget of not overspending on seed money or, you know, harvesting your crops, building these analogies, diversifying your fields, you know, make some analogies.
Is that what that game's about? No wonder I was confused.
Well, Joe, you know, one thing I'll say about Well Behaved Wallet and her content, I know she uses the kind of the vlog style, which you don't see as much now. A lot of video creators have kind of leaned towards a more polished, more either green screen or have a set behind me, and I'm gonna talk about a specific topic. Where she's really diving into, she has this entrepreneur like inside videos, like about her, she's operating her business. She does a lot of I'm sitting here, I'm telling you about what's going on in my financial life, some things I've been through, which I always enjoy a personal twist to these videos and different types of content versus just like, I don't always just want to be educated. Sometimes I want to be entertained or kind of learn who the person is. And I don't see as many people doing this anymore. So I think that's a very, unique approach in the finance space to YouTube, which I don't see too often anymore.
Yeah, just super list here that we have. So it's time, the moment of truth. Chris, who do you want to win?
This is another tough one. Because some of the people I liked in some of the other similar categories are on here as well. But if I had to choose, just because I enjoy his content a lot and I feel like he's very consistent and he does this all the time, I got to go with Kevin again for Building Bread on Instagram Reels, just because I feel like I'm always learning something when I watch his stuff. And he's just, I don't know how he's so consistent and on it all the time. I can't do that.
Yeah. Eric?
I'd say for I want to win, I think I like to dabble. As I was saying, I like the side hustle content. I think side hustles are a great way to improve your personal finances, and who knows what it can lead to. And Danielle is doing a great job there.
Athena?
I would like Kevin to win. Team Kevin!
Building Bread again. I would like to see, oh boy, there's... I think I would, oh boy. I think I would like to see Investing Latina win.
That's a good choice too. That's a good choice.
I think
there's not a bad choice.
No,
there's really not.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to see Jaspreet win. I'd like to see, so many of these people win. All right, who do you think's going to win, Chris?
Ooh, yeah. I always forget that question's coming up. I think I'm answering both questions simultaneously, but just so to spread the love around, because I'm not going to give it all to Kevin here. You know what, Yaneli, Miss Be Helpful. I think just because of her work with like students and the younger generation, I think she's perfect for connecting with them. And I always think I wish someone would have been there to teach me this stuff when I was younger, and I would have been like farther ahead to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And she's out there reaching those people. So for that reason, I think she should win.
How great is that? Eric?
Yeah, I think maybe minority mindset. For
you think
being unique. Yeah.
Athena.
I would like Danny from I Like to Dabble to win. I mean, not to win. I think she's going to win.
You think she's going to win?
I think she's going to win.
You know, it's funny. Often, and I do think that minority mindset is the big, cast a big shadow based on that audience size and the presence and the fact that he was on the main stage at FinCon. Like, I know that plays a big part, I think, in a lot of people's thinking. But I also think that historically the committees have not gone for that person. Like, I've seen it over and over where that person does not win, that they pick against. So while I think that Jaspreet maybe should win, I also think, though, that if I look at somebody who's just this last 12 months just knocked the cover off the ball, to use a baseball analogy, I also think it's Miss Be Helpful. Even though she currently has a smaller number of followers than a lot of these creators, I think that if we just look at the last 12 months, I think that's, I don't know, it's going to be great to see. Every year, yeah. I look at these. If I have one complaint about the awards that I love, it's that while I'm sitting there, they go too fast. And I know that they want to keep the moving and they want to whatever, but I'm always like, okay, wait a minute. I'm trying to, like, I wish I brought in my sheet and I had the thing circled and I could just talk to all these people and find out like what they do. I'd love to have speeches from all of them, but I know that would turn this into an 85-hour event. So, because all of us can talk, as you can tell, because we're here recording this for like the third hour. All right. So why don't we move on then? Let's do the one that's going to bring it home on the awards, but it's going to be second to last here, and that is Blog of the Year. Chris, what do we got?
Oh, so we got a nice long list here. We got 9 finalists here. We have All Options Considered, A Purple Life, The Best Interest, Clever Girl Finance, His and Her Money, I Like to Dabble, Marriage, Kids, and Money, Money Smart Latina, The College Investor.
Athena, we got to take you off of besides you,
it gets better. It gets better. Not
That's
only
all right.
was I nominated, I write for 3 of the other publications that were nominated. Hence why I am a better freelancer than Eric. Just saying.
See, I was just about to say it's cool if you win in this category because I'm going to crush you in the other. I don't want your feelings to be hurt that you lost so bad, but this one's announced after, so you'll end with a sweet taste in your mouth.
Athena, let's present it this way then. Talk to us about one of the other 6 that you're not, or 5 that you're not involved with. Shine a light on one of those.
I don't know. If they win, they better share the award with me. I'm just saying. One of the ones that I am not involved with, and one that actually is new to me, is The Best Interest. And so Jesse Kramer, I feel like kind of popped up out of nowhere. He probably didn't, but he's very involved in the community, and this is a new to me website, so I'm kind of digging it.
What's the Best Interest about for people that aren't familiar with Jesse's work?
So The Best Interest, again, it's more about investment content, but I really like that Jesse also covers like personal finance basics, and then he also covers like investor psychology. So a lot of us don't want to do a lot of risk when we're investing, but he talks about that and talks about why, and then he kind of just guides you through that. So that's what I like about him.
Eric, how about another one here?
Yeah, one I'd love to shout out is Marriage, Kids, and Money. We mentioned Andy already through another nomination, but on his own site, it's a great site. It's really hard to not like Andy. He's just one of those people that I think no matter what your deal is, you'd probably find him just to be such a nice guy. He really is, and he is that way in real life too. He seems to just really care about everybody, and he's really a great family guy. And it comes out in his site. You can tell that he loves his family, he loves what he does, and it's infectious. And that's a good thing when you're trying to help people improve their money, is to have that kind of relatable feeling, because that will get people to engage and act. And I think he does a good job with that.
I should recuse myself from talking about Andy the way that I should have with talking about Bobby Rebell earlier, because Andy was my neighbor for a long time. I had nothing to do with the site. I didn't work with him like I did Bobby, but he's my game night buddy. Like we would, the number of times that Andy Hill and I have had maybe skosh too much to drink together is a fair amount. So, and
more than zero,
higher than zero. Yes. Could be double digits, but yeah, what a great guy. What a great brand. And the thought that he puts into everything that he does, as a guy who's had lots of conversations with Andy, is incredible. That guy works hard, and it's good to see him on this list. Chris, let's shine the light on another one.
Yeah, before I give the one I was going to talk about, I also have to say, I got a second for Andy. Probably should be winning the nicest guy in the Space Award. And if there's someone who's going to have a property, a brand called Marriage, Kids, and Money, it's got to be someone like Andy, who you truly can tell in his content and just speaking with him how much he does care about his family and how big of an influence it is on how he talks about money. So I had to just add that part in there.
I feel like at his high school graduation or prom, when they announced like the person most likely to whatever awards, which are kind of a silly tradition, he was probably one like most likely to grow up and be a nice guy.
Yes.
Right.
For sure.
Andy doesn't pay me, so I don't have to say that.
He doesn't pay me either. He just, and I've never lived near him. That sounds like it'd be fun to live near him. Or Joe. I'd live near either of you guys.
It was fun. Come on, you guys are all invited to game night anytime. Just come to Texarkana. And by the way, I know, Chris, that you're about to go, but before you go, because we're just talking about nice guys, the other nice guy that we've talked about is also on this list. So let's just mention him really quickly, which is the College Investor is on this site. And Robert Farrington, we've already talked about him a little bit, but somebody that serves a great audience of people that are in college or newly graduated from college, stuff that people, he does such a great job of serving this audience of people just out of college that, and to see him do it with a community approach, and truly a nice guy, great to work with, and his readers, his listeners on his podcast, all feel the same about him. So, and it's always a testament to your people that work hand in hand with people like Robert, talk about them so fondly. It's always great hearing all you guys talk about how great he is. So Robert Farrington, we'll just check that box since we already talked about him once. But back to you, Chris.
Oh, can I say, I second that on Robert, but I won't take us back again in another loop. The one that I've always been a fan of her work is, she's anonymous, Purple, at A Purple Life.
Yeah.
And she has been tracking her journey towards financial independence. I was going to say recently retired, but I don't think it's even recent at this point. I think it's probably been a year or two at this point that she officially left the workforce. And she's just a great job of really being really open with her numbers and showing you exactly, this is where my retirement savings is at. This is how much it changes every month. This is where it's been at since I left my job. And I always like someone who is open and really gives that insight into how she's doing things, what the reality of it looks like. But also, I know her being anonymous is a smart idea, so that way she can have some privacy as well. And, everyone she knows isn't in her business when it comes to her numbers.
You're allowed to win this award once. Is my understanding, right? Isn't it once? One time.
I don't know. That's a good point.
Once you win it, you're gone. I wish we had Miranda here, but I think it's once now that you're allowed to win it. And the fact that she has not yet blows me away, because I feel like every year we have this conversation, I'm like, Purple's going to win it. I mean, to your point, Chris, open, honest, has a point of view, not always a popular point of view, right? Happy to go against the grain, like all the things that make a great blog. She's done it all. And the fact that she is not disqualified, like some other big name blogs are disqualified because of the fact that they've already won and they're not eligible anymore, is beyond me. why she hasn't won yet. I truly don't know.
We're in the same camp. Me and her, and formerly Sandy Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she deserves it. She's also a big part of the community. I feel like she does a great job of connecting with a ton of different people.
Yeah, she works hard to give back, and I love that transparency on the site of like, here's what my money really looks like, telling the journey. I'd echo all the things you say.
But another person or another couple, how the hell are they still on here? His and Her Money. How is His and Her Money on here? Like, how have they not won this?
They seem like they should be able, like, on the top of the list to win it every single year because of just the consistency and quality of their content.
Yes.
They're getting to like lifetime achievement territory, it seems. They've been doing this and they've done, they do such a consistent, good job.
For people who don't know Ty and Talat, just their story of him being a financial nightmare. She even says, Ty says that she might not have married him if she would have known what a disaster he was. But in his defense, he came not only clean with her, he now is also, together. They lead a church. And just their journey, not only out of debt, but from out of debt to better financial literacy, to financial independence, to leading others is just great cornerstone people in our community. And I'm not sure how they're on this list still, because I would have thought that they're long beyond this. Athena, how about another one? We got a couple left here. Boy, one that really stands out to me too.
I really like All Options Considered.
Oh yeah.
It is like a LGBTQ finalist for Blog of the Year, and that makes me really super excited. They have some really good content. It's mainly, fire, but at the same time, it's different, like fire options. Like they talk about, how you're saying like barista fire and that kind of stuff. It's like, you can live life on your own terms and while you're doing fire. And so you don't have to cut all the costs, like they talk about living in an Airstream and that kind of thing. So that's what I like about them.
And it's their own personal journey, which is great. These personal stories that they tell are so absolutely fun to read. Speaking of fun to read, a woman who's created just a dynamic community, Bola Secunbi on this list. With Clever Girl Finance, like Clever Girl Finance. And maybe this is we talked about Jasprit last time being the powerhouse. Would you say that Bola might be the powerhouse here? I mean, even against like His and Her Money, I think Clever Girl Finance, holy cow, the things she's done for young women has been outstanding.
Yeah, I don't know when she sleeps.
Exactly.
She runs her website and like she manages all the freelancers. She writes books. She goes on tour. She does all these shows. She does video content. I'm like, I need your energy and your time management, Bola.
And you know what, Athena? Also, website. One of the most giving people in our community. Yeah. Every time I've reached out to Bola, to all you guys' points, I have no idea how she finds the time. She runs this kick-ass community, and she's always there whenever I've had to, ask her a question. She's there.
Yeah, see, if you just look at the website, it's a beautiful design. And if you scroll down the homepage, you can just see, again, like you were saying, she is so busy. She's got a motor on her. Podcasts, books, roadmaps, Women and Money Report. She is just cranking out so much good stuff. And as we've pointed out a few times, I think so far, it's important that we reach all communities, and women have been underserved in the financial world for a very long time. So seeing a well-designed and well-executed site aimed at all women, young women, I see being very attracted to this. It's just great to see, and very well-deserved to be here.
I want to pause here for just a second. Because of one thing, and clearly just the awards this year are what they are. But when you look at awards year to year, the one thing we talked about earlier is how it's definitely all kinds of different social media channels, right? All kinds of different mediums people are using. There is not one definitive fire blog in here. Is that a surprise to anybody?
Right. I'm shocked. Yeah. That was, I don't know if it's that we had so much fire content for the past couple of years, and maybe they're kind of like we're seeing more people shift to other content categories or what it is. But yeah, you're right. I didn't even notice that there was not one in this list.
Yeah. Surprising to you, Athena?
Yes, it's very surprising. But I also say it's a nice turn of events.
It is a nice turn of events.
I'm actually not surprised. We've seen the fire sizzling out a little bit online. I think there's been a little bit, or not a little bit, there's been a lot of pushback against the idea of fire for a handful of reasons. One is sustainability of living on an ultra shoestring budget. It works for some people, but it definitely isn't going to work for everybody. So getting that idea out there, like, oh, anyone can make as much as an electrical engineer and work for 4 years out of college and buy 4 rental properties and live on $2,000 a year and never work again. Everybody can't do that. I'm not picking on any one specific person. That looks like there's a face that looks like I'm picking on a person. No, I'm not picking.
Athena definitely looks like she thinks that you're talking about somebody specifically.
No, I'm making a composite of several different fire people. So there are pieces from all different ones. But the reason I bring that up is, it's just not realistic for everybody. We're not all going to make that kind of money and be able to live in that kind of way. And seeing pushback on that, I think is, it's okay, because I think it's important to acknowledge. I think this is one of those like wisdom things I've had with growing up, that there's a different path for everybody and there's no right way or only way to do things. And seeing different kind of fire brands of, the Coast Fire and Barista Fire and Upside Down Fire and Frozen Fire, or whatever they're going to call their next fire.
Dumpster Fire.
That's
my favorite.
Exactly.
Yes.
So there's going to be, they're not all for everybody. And I think we're seeing a little bit of a backlash to that. And I don't think the fire movement should go away by any means, because there's a lot of great things we can learn there. I think we're seeing it's going to mature a little bit. And it's not that uptick that it had at the beginning.
I think there's another thing going on too, Eric, and that's that these voices in this list are so damn strong. They're so strong. And I think we're waiting for that next strong voice in the fire movement. The next one. And who is it? There's fire bloggers that are, exempt from this category because they've, already won. But who's the next voice? And maybe we're waiting for that. All right. It is, man, I thought video was hard. Here we go. Athena, who do you want to win?
We didn't talk about my blog.
We didn't talk about your blog. That is so funny.
I declare shenanigans.
I didn't talk
Get
about
the brooms.
I marked it off at the beginning of our discussion because of the fact that you're here. And I'm like, okay, she's recusing herself. But I'm sorry. I recused all of us. Eric.
I like hearing nice things about myself. Thank you very much.
Well, go back on
to my cloud.
Go back on mute, and I'm glad there's no video because Joe's turning red. Eric, there's one more here. What blog would that be?
Yeah, I actually recently, for another podcast I'm a part of, the Pay Active podcast, interviewed Money Smart Latina.
Heyo.
Her name's Athena Lent. I don't know if any of you have heard of her, but if you haven't, she has this fantastic website aimed at women from the Latina community. She's a beautiful, incredibly intelligent, and very successful content creator.
Tell me more.
But on a more serious note, she really does have a great website, and the work she's doing is fantastic. And it shows you as she has been picked as a position to work with the FinCon community, specifically to bring more diversity in and help make sure the community reflects the people in the community. And she's doing a really great job for the community she comes from here on this site. And knowing her openness with her past financial struggles and how she's worked to turn them into financial successes, that's a great story that I think resonates with a lot of people, especially if you're struggling, to know that there can be a very green light at the end of the tunnel. Not a white light, a green light, because we're making the green, right? Making money.
Yeah, and too, Athena, you were saying that you don't know how like Bola does everything. I feel like you do 12,000 things. And so I'm always impressed by anyone who can juggle more than one thing at a time. And I feel like you're very good at not only creating your own content, obviously, but also being able to work with others and switch your voice to kind of add to their content and keep it consistent, which I think is a very difficult skill to not only be able to write in your own voice, but be able to write in others' voices and contribute to, other platforms. So you got to give you credit for that too.
Well, and the thing that always impresses Athena's like, stop, keep going, right? The thing, Athena, that impresses me about your work is the fact that even on your blog, the thing we've been talking about here today is the fact that you need to be where your audience is. And your blog immediately, when you go to the front of the blog, it's like, hey, here's my YouTube page. And understanding that people learn in different ways and that we're not all readers, that some of us watch, some of us listen, some of us do different things. And you immediately go multimedia with your site, I think is a huge testament to where you are in this community and why you're on this list and why you're such a leader.
Thank you for the kind words. I'm very I kind of want to cry, but thank you.
Well, late.
Also, you're going to lose for Freelancer of the Year.
I'll save my crying for then.
So Athena, besides yourself, who do you want to win? Is that even a fair question?
I don't
know.
No, because she gets a pass on this one.
Yeah, because if you don't want yourself, no one else is going to want yourself.
And you work with so many of the sites because you're just a prolific creator now. I think you get a pass.
Okay,
we don't normally get passes on this panel, but
that's why I'm going to win Freelancer of the Year. Thank you.
Eric, who do you want to win?
Want to win? I mean, if I'm not going to say Money Smart Latina, just to be fair and even, it's close between, I'd say, Purple Life and Marriage, Kids, and Money. I'd probably lean towards Marriage, Kids, and Money.
Chris?
Oh, I think I'm right with Eric. I mean, those are trifecta, right? I mean, of course, Money Smart Latina. Athena, we see you. We see you. A Purple Life, just because you're always like, how has she not won it yet? And same with Andy. For some reason, I think, oh, he didn't win. I feel like he should have at this point as well. So I think that's where my vote is going, in that direction.
I feel like there's justice in the universe if Athena wins, but I also think there's justice in the universe if Bola wins. I think that Bola very much deserves this. So great to,
although
you could say Andy
his
Hill,
and her money, they've been doing it
great
for a long time too.
You could say Jeff Rose. You could say Robert. Holy cow. Yeah, but I'm going to go with
right up there.
I'm going to go with Bola. All right, Athena, who is going to win?
I think Bola is going to win because she's built this community. She's done books. She's done podcasts. Again, I don't know when she sleeps, but I mean, her main goal is to serve her community, and she just does it so well.
Chris?
This is a really hard category. I think just because this is like a community award, and when I look at this list, A Purple Life has been one of the strongest at building community and really connecting. So to me, it's a toss-up. I flip a coin between A Purple Life and Marriage, Kids, and Money, because Andy also is really tightly knit within the community and does an amazing job of connecting with people. And he's one of those people you want to connect with.
You can't vote against him.
You can't. It feels wrong.
Right. Eric?
I vote for everybody. No, that's cheating.
As they say here in Texas, I love all y'all. All y'all.
All y'all?
Yeah.
You're someone's not from Texas if you're like, I'll tell all y'all what. They're like, what? I'm like, well, I already done told you. Tell you what. I'd say maybe his and her monies. I think they've just been consistent and good for a long time, and I think they have a really good shot. Like, I think they'll have a good shot. It's hard. Like a purple life. I would not put my money on anyone because I'm going to lose because they're all so good. This is not something I would bet on. But I'm going to go with his and her money.
I'm going to second Athena's. In this case, usually I've got somebody different between who I hope will win and who I think is going to win. In this case, I hope Bola wins. I think Bola's going to win. I think Clever Girl Finance takes it home. All right. That brings us to the last and greatest award of all, Podcast of the Year. This is a big one. Chris, what do we got?
All right. So we got 10 great finalists here. All right. We're starting things off with the Money Podcast from Bigger Pockets, Brown Ambition Podcast, Financial Feminist Podcast, Her Dinero Matters Podcast, Her Money with Gene Chatsky, Michelle is Money Hungry, Money for the Rest of Us Podcast, Redefining Wealth with Patrice Washington, This is Awkward, and Yo Quiero Dinero Podcast.
Oh, boy.
That's a list. That's a great list.
That is a good list.
Oh, man. Okay.
So before we dive into this one, I want to give a quick shout out to Capital Group. They sponsored all of these top 3 of the year categories. And I know they're a big contributor to the Plutus Foundation and making the Plutus Awards happen. So wanted to take a quick pause for a moment and say thank you. We appreciate it.
I'm glad you said that, Eric, because I said it with video, and I neglected that on the last 2, presented by Capital Group. Well, while you're talking, Eric, keep going, man. Let's shine a light on one of these.
So what's a podcast? Yeah, I'm so I want to shine a light on the first one on the list there, the Money Podcast from Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets has grown from this tiny little one-guy shop into a powerhouse real estate brand. And the Money Podcast breaking off has just been a really fun delight to listen to. It sticks with what Bigger Pockets is all about, helping people improve their money, mostly through real estate, but they just take a more general approach here to personal finance with the Money Podcast. And it's a fun show, and it's worth listening to.
I like that they focus on their listeners and their listeners' stories about how they got where they are. And they'll often have, quote, regular people. As a podcaster, I've tried to do that myself, and it's so difficult. It is because often people don't know how to tell their story. And you have to coach them so much, and it takes so long, and they continually do it. And by the way, 2 great tastes that taste great together, Scott Trench and Mindy Jensen, 2 people who couldn't be more different in their approach to money and life, but somehow are BFFs, and you can tell when you hear them together on the podcast. So great co-host. And for a while, there's been years that early on where they weren't on this list and were kind of overlooked. And it was great to see them not overlooked, because what a great show.
Exactly. And you can throw Mindy right on that list for nicest people in the community right there.
Absolutely. Mr. Browning, what's another one besides This Is Awkward? Maybe we should talk about This Is Awkward.
I recuse myself.
Like it was awkward that I went right by Athena's blog because she's here.
You're welcome.
You're
welcome.
It is awkward that Chris is here and we're talking about his podcast, but talk also, guys, about 2 hosts. I think that you can tell the love there. Like you guys together, it is so fun. And 2 people that have brands of their own that do really well. I mean, Allison Baggerly's Inspire Budget is a fun, great community to follow. I follow her avidly on Instagram. And I think that her husband's appearances on that show are hilarious and incredibly fun. And Chris, Popcorn Finance, a show that's been amazing and has just a great listenership, and you do great work. Just the 2 of you guys together and the friendship that you clearly have in the awkward situations you talk about, I think are a great time. So I'm not going to commit that sin twice of forgetting the person who's in the room. Well, we'll take care of that. But let's shine a light on another one. Chris?
Yeah, And Athena, you're right. That does feel nice. This is great.
I know. It's like, tell me more.
So I'm just going to go in order on this list. And I mean, you can't talk about podcasting without talking about Brown Ambition. They are, I don't even know where to begin. Like, if you want to talk about people who are just entertaining to just listen to, you're talking about people who are super knowledgeable. If you're talking about people who build a community, Tiffany and Mandy, I don't know if there's two people who are better at that individually and as a team than the two of them. They are so relatable. They're the only podcast on this list where I've had people I work with come up to me and say, have you ever heard of the Brown Ambition podcast? Like, just unprompted. I didn't even ask them about this. And that's just how wide their reach is and how much they connect with their listeners, whether they're going to be diving into like individual personal finance topics, whether they're taking a question from a listener. They always come in, I feel like, with very grounded, empathetic approach. And they feel like very real people. When I listen to them, they feel like two real people who aren't talking down to me, who aren't, trying to be something they're not. They're extremely authentic, which I love. And I think that's why so many people gravitate towards their show.
I mean, and the resume there, Chris, between those two women, they don't talk down, and they very well could. Right?
Exactly.
Very well could. Mandy, with her background, I mean, Yahoo Finance, very few places bigger than that in the financial world. And of course, the Budgetnista, just on their own, the two of them, and two people doing phenomenal work. I get excited talking about them because they're our sister show on Westwood One. So we have the same.
That's right.
We're part of the same network, which I feel is an honor for me. Athena, how about another one?
I love Redefining Wealth with Patrice Washington.
Oh, yeah.
She is like Tiffany. At least she has built such a community. She's done great work. But I love the fact that she actually went back to school. She was very stealthy about it. Like, no one knew. And she went back to school to get her master's in financial therapy. And so I was like, so she's got that background now. So she's got that like extra layer. And I think trauma and how trauma affects your finances is like a buzzword right now. But I think it's for a good reason. And I think that she's going to have a lot to give to the community and to share because she does have that knowledge now.
I love the fact that not only, to your point, Athena, does she do such a great job with the community, but she also, I mean, redefining wealth. I love that her topics go well beyond money. Like, it's much more about mindset. And I think that that's where a lot of us mess up, is on mindset. And by the way, we've been talking about nice people. Nicest person. Oh my goodness. Patrice Washington.
Put it right up there.
Holy moly, is that woman so nice. Eric, who do we have next?
Michelle is money hungry. Have we chatted about her yet? I don't think so.
We have not.
Yeah, so Michelle is money hungry. Michelle, I've known a long time. She's another one with Colorado roots. Go Denver. I know I think we're both Broncos fans. Michelle Jackson, if you're not familiar, she does a great job, and she is another one who is just very real. She calls it how she sees it and doesn't hold back, and that makes it a fun show to listen to. Last year, I believe, she won an award for a specific episode that she did, I think, in response to the beginning of the George Floyd protests. So it was somewhere around there, and it was great, just like all of her other episodes. That one just got called out for an award because it was a very big time in the news. But she's always a great listen, and that episode and others.
I love how she's made that her brand, just seeing it like it is. I feel like she turns on the recorder and starts talking, and it's great talk. It's talk I always want to listen to.
And I'm also money
real
hungry.
Authentic people.
Yeah.
We have being money hungry in common. She just admits who she is. Like, I want to make more money. So, yeah, me too.
I appreciate that.
A big name on this list is, of course, Jean Chatzky, the Today Show Money editor, and the Her Money brand.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with Jean and her podcast. Jean is another great content creator. She is a great leader in what she does. In her podcast here, she's focusing on the women in finance audience. As we've said again and again, an important audience to deserve attention. I know she also works with AARP. That's another group of people, our aging population who needs financial help and knowledge and financial literacy resources. And she's a great creator in that area for both of those audiences. So glad to see her nominated.
Yeah, Jean is one of those people she's just like a pillar, I think, in the finance community. I feel like what she's built and what she continues to grow and bring in new voices. I think she's just amazing at what she does. And I think I feel like she's connected with so many other people in the community as well. She's one of those people I feel like who's grown so much, but still you see her around and you see conversations with her, you see her kind of bring in people. I've seen her at FinCon. And so it's, even though she's grown something so large, she's still a part of the community.
Yeah. Talk about humble person. And he keeps using this phrase. We're overusing it now. Nice people. Jean Chatzky back in St. Louis. I'm running at the Arch Park. I'm almost directly underneath the arch, and I hear this voice say, "Joe, Joe, Joe." And I turn around and here's Jean Chatzky. And she said, and how she recognized me, I'd interviewed her once on Stacking Benjamins one time. And she goes, "Joe, are you running with anybody?" I go, "No." And so next thing you know, I'm running with Jean Chatzky, who I've seen on the Today Show a bajillion times. And that is just Jean. That's just Jean.
I mean, the fact that you were recognized out of makeup is impressive, right? On its own.
She's like, "Joe, your bald head is just shining in my eyes." I can't. Yeah. Next up on this list, Athena, let's keep shining the light.
Another person that's on this list, and they're also on the list for Best New Podcast, is Financial Feminist. Again, Tori's done a lot of work. And yeah, her podcast is just really informative, and it gives, she has a very specific audience and a very specific vision. And I think, she fulfills it.
I think if you want to talk about someone who's just like good on the mic, I think that's when I listen to a podcast, it's always what I'm looking for, like how comfortable you are. Because it takes a while to get comfortable talking in a room by yourself, because it's kind of weird in the beginning. And I think she has really, honed that in and has this ability to be very comfortable and very, personal, which is, I feel, a very hard thing to do on a solo podcast, to be personal and connect with people, even though you can't see them, but you're still able to put that out as if you're speaking to someone, which I always look for as a mark of a strong podcast.
Man, that makes
I love to hear myself talk.
That makes two of us. And that's a strong segue, by the way, Chris, that you make about this ability to do solo podcasts, because another person on this list that is a wonderful storyteller who often is overlooked, has a lot of real people listen to his show, but our community tends to overlook him all the time. David Stein and Money for the Rest of Us. Like Money for the Rest of Us is a show that, I remember even in these awards 4 and 5 years ago, I remember in the panel discussions saying, why aren't we talking about David Stein and the collective community of even people on the panel as we're trying to put together the finals list? We're like, who? What? I'm like, you guys got to listen to this guy, because he can tell you like what a derivative is. In language and in storytelling that 99% of it, I certainly can't do it like David does. And his ability to take these concepts that are way out there and bring them home is just that. What a skill, what a gift he has. Money for the Rest of Us.
A derivative is a financial tool that derives its value from another financial.
Are you allowed to use a form of the word in the definition?
I can do that again, but
a derivative is something that derives.
Can I be nominated for Podcast of the Year because I was able to
there it is.
Describe what derivative is?
Yes.
Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
I think you had a very derivative answer there, Eric. Yeah.
Ooh.
But looking at his episode lineup, if you just look at stuff he's done recently, I think what separates this one out, it's it leans much more into the technical side. Not that I'm saying like in a boring way, but more so. We have a lot of like conversational, maybe informal podcasts, and this one is really diving into the nuts and bolts of our financial system, which I think I like a mix of that. I like both. I like stuff I can laugh with, I can enjoy, I can relax with, but then I also like stuff that's going to like really dive in deep, and I think he's doing that very well.
And look at some of the topics. Oh, sorry, Joe.
No, go ahead. Jump in.
Look at some of the topics on here. I'm like, yeah. Like he's talking about, is a famine next? Food inflation, food riots, and then it's like, is Airbnb intensing the housing crisis? I'm like, yeah, it is. I want to go just listen to this now.
Yeah, he is always seems to have his finger on the pulse. Speaking of that, a great top podcast that I think has also been on here multiple years, Janice and Yokiero Dinero.
Yeah, Janice is one of those people too that she's an amazing personality and individual. Like I get wrapped up when I listen to her speak, and I feel like that's what I need. If I'm looking for a podcast, I want someone who's gonna like bring me in. I'm gonna be entertained. I'm gonna be like hanging on your words, and I think that's what she does very well. And I believe she also has like, not only does she do like, she has a blog, she has a website. She also had a very successful, I think she still runs a food blog as well that she runs. I believe hopefully I'm not mixing that up, but I believe she also has that as like another side hustle that she's working on.
Yeah, that was her first side hustle, and that's how she taught herself like how to blog and podcast and all that.
So I'm like, I can do one thing. And so I'm impressed that when people have all these other things that they're really talented and skilled with, along with, being able to move from the blogging world into the podcasting world and do it successfully like she has.
She has a great money story about learning about money. And I love the last line on her about page of her website. My story's juicier than your favorite novella. That is great language. Fantastic. All right. And we've got one more strong name, and I'm so tired of saying the nicest person. Like, this is the nicest person. And another strong woman who is teaching and leading the Latina financial community, Jen Hemphill.
Yeah, Jen, she's one of the first people I met at FinCon, and she has always just been one of the most helpful, insightful people I've had a chance to sit and speak with. And she really does. I believe she really cares for her audience when she speaks to them. She's one of those people that you feel like everything she says you believe, and she's all in 100%. And I just really respect that about her, and also her ability just to communicate things so well. So it's no wonder that she's had this podcast. She has over 400 episodes so far of Her Dinero Matters. Yeah, Her Dinero Matters. And it's just, she's well deserved to be in this category. And I guess I just assumed maybe she had won this at some point over the past few years.
Yeah.
Right. One of the categories. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
One of the categories I'm really surprised that she's not nominated for is Community Builder Award. She actually does monthly mixers for Latino personal finance content creators. And she started that on her own. She does it every month. And it's like, and it's not just like us, like networking and stuff. It's just like she really wants us to feel like we're here, we have a voice. And that's why I'm really shocked she's not on the community builder list, but maybe a lot of people don't know that she actually does that for her community.
Boy, she, to your point, Athena, the older you get, the more you think about what is your legacy and what is it that you're trying to build and what is it. And when I think of Jen Hemphill, the word family is the first thing I always think of. Just and whether that's her family that she clearly is a great member of, but not only that, the family. Chris, you were talking about her podcast and the community, and then Athena, the larger community. Like, she tries to make it all family, and it feels very family. When my spouse, who's a very good judge of character, met her, we got to go speak at Harvard together, she and I, about podcasting, and she immediately liked her. And she has this aura, this very family community aura. So I'm with you. I don't know why she's not in the community builder, but this is a great space to be. She has been on this list before, I do know. And I'm in a mastermind with her because I love getting to pick Jen Hemphill's brain. Like, she's just a great person to mastermind with. All right. I think we have them all. I'm so sad that after 3 hours, this is coming to a close. I know you guys want to keep going.
I was hoping we're going to eat dinner.
I know you guys want to
eat dinner together.
I know, right? Dinner tomorrow.
These are hours of your life, dear listener, that you will not get back.
That's right. Here we go. No, it's been fantastic. And man, if you're a creator, you want to be a creator, I think there's so many lessons here. We'll do that, I think, as a last thing. Some of the lessons new creators can learn from this wonderful group of people we talked about. But Athena, who do you want to win this podcast of the year?
I want This Is Awkward to win.
There it is.
My heart.
Nice. Chris, besides This Is Awkward.
Oh, besides This Is Awkward. This is tough because I have a special place in my heart for podcasts, Joe. I love podcasts. And I'm a fan of so many of these people, but I would say, well, again, I don't know how they haven't won this, but to me, Brown Ambition, I think they're very well deserving of this award.
Eric?
So if I were going to have to pick one for podcast of the year, I think I would lean towards Stacking Benjamins this year.
Oh,
I think
good
they got
pick.
A good chance.
Why aren't they
I think
on
that show
this
got
list?
retired, didn't it? Didn't that show get disbanded? Something about like the FTC and I can't remember what it was.
Securities
I heard the guy who runs it. I heard the guy who runs this creeper who hangs out in his mom's basement.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So in real life, I'd say if I'm going to pick the one that I want to win, I like voting for the friends who I've known a long time. I have to say Michelle is Money Hungry. That's a great show. I called it out earlier for a reason. I think she does a great job, and I'd love to see her win.
Yeah, I think she definitely does too. And by the way, there may be some people here at Stacking Benjamins wondering why we're not on this list. We actually have done something weird that you can't do anymore. We've won this award 3 times. So the first year there wasn't the cap. I think we might have been the reason why they said you can't win it more than once, and we had won it when it was a smaller award before that. So yeah, we've done our share, and we're not eligible for this.
You guys are like
defined the
Shaq.
category.
You just change the rules. You're too dominant out there.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and they call it the Joe rule. They've had to Joe this category. The D-Joe.
I always thought of it as the, not to knock you down a peg, but I always felt like it was the J Money rule. After the
I think
first
it was.
FinCon
I think it actually
in
was the
Chicago.
J Money rule. I think it was the J Money rule.
He won like every single category.
Right.
It's like, budgets are sexy is great. We know.
And now he's back. And now J Money is back.
He's back. Like, do you think if you sell your site and buy it back, does that reset your counter? Like, can he win again?
No.
How many people, by the way, that weren't nominated as finalists have we mentioned? Jay Money, I think, is the first one. I think we've talked about finalist and now Jay Money. So he still makes it. Even though he's not eligible, he still makes it. So
and Stacking Benjamins.
Eric,
hey, we mentioned your show. Even
well, we did. Well, thank you.
You didn't get nominated.
Stop. Yes. So Eric says Michelle's Money Hungry. Chris says if it can't be This Is Awkward.
If it can't be us.
If it can't be, then
which
Brown
it can be, just so I make it clear, it can be. But
yes.
if it can't be,
well,
Brown Ambition.
And Athena says it should be. So there you go. And mine, I would love to see. Oh, Bigger Pockets Money or Money for the Rest of Us. Oh, which one?
I think it's pronounced This Is Awkward, but
Yeah, sorry. Yes, This Is Awkward. Right. This is
awkward.
This is awkward. Because I'm about to say one of 2 others, and I think it's going to be Money for the Rest of Us. So I'd like to see win. But who do you think is going to win? That may be a whole different thing. Chris, you're in this category, and I always felt like and Athena, same thing for you with the last category. Like when you're in a category, you're like, oh, here's the person I think is going to win. Who do you think that's going to be if it's not you, Chris?
Ooh, that's tough. Because I already said Brown Ambition, and I don't want to say them twice, even though my answer is probably going to be Brown Ambition twice. But to spread it around a little bit, I would say because again, another show that I'm like, they haven't won the Money Podcast with Mindy. I don't know why they haven't won this. It feels like they do such an amazing job, the two of them together, that I don't know how they both haven't won. So Mindy and Scott, but I think they should be up there for contention for sure. I think they have been doing this long enough that they should be considered a favorite to win this.
And we've talked about this before, that, the number of subscribers or whatever is not the final criteria. It's best show, period. But if you look at just the size of their audience and people vote with their ears, they have the biggest audience on this list. So the Bigger Pockets Money is the biggest audience show here. So yeah, absolutely. Athena, who's going to take it home?
I say this is awkward because I do not know how they answer half of these questions they get.
I know.
I have to answer them for Slate, and some of them I have to sit on, and I could probably not talk about and have a reasonable conversation because I'd be like, WTF.
I appreciate that.
Eric, you've been in podcasting, around podcasting as long as any of us. You also have had a front row seat to all these people's careers. Who's taking it home?
They're all good ones. And This Is Awkward, I think, really does have a good shot. And I think Patrice Washington, Redefining Wealth, has a really good shot.
Yeah.
Like Yo Quiero De Niro has a really good... They all have really good shots. I'm just about to read the whole list. This is a hard one to pick again. All these of the year ones. If I had to pick just one, it's paining me to pick one. I'm like churning inside having to pick one out. I might have to go the Money Podcast because of the reach, if being the tiebreaker. Like I said, everyone here is very, very good and quality is very, very good. I think people will notice the Money Podcast has the reach, and a lot of the panel. What's cool about the panel gets to know a lot of these people. A lot of them attend FinCon every year, so we get to see each other in person, or podcast movement. So it's cool, like, getting to really know the people behind the mic. And I think a lot of people also know the Money Podcast team and would want to see them take home the little plastic Plutus cup.
Yeah, the famous Plutus cup that looks like I finished.
Just so you know, a few years ago, Whitney Hansen won, and she's a good friend for her show, The Money Nerds, and it was the best show, best new podcast of the year. And afterwards, I had some champagne with me, so we filled up the cup with some champagne and had a cheers, and learned that you probably should not drink champagne out of a Plutus Award. They leak, and we're probably drinking Chinese chemicals.
I also learned that very valuable lesson when I did shots out of one before.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Probably not. Mine is going to, my pick is Brown Ambition. I think they've had just a breakout year. They are not the biggest audience show, but the size of their audience now versus a year ago, I think is the biggest up. And I also think just the two of them together have really found their voice together. It's been great to watch. So it's going to be, speaking of great to watch, it's going to be a great award show. It will be at FinCon, and I believe it is September 9th.
Friday, September 9th.
It is September 9th. And our friends, the debt-free guys, will be the hosts this year of this year's amazing Plutus Awards. Guys, thank you so much. Two last things. Number one is, what's something good that a new creator can learn from this list? Athena?
Being consistent, that's something that I myself have had an issue with. And I think that if I was consistent earlier on, I would have been successful faster. But I don't know, just being consistent is a really important thing.
Yeah, Eric?
That's it. Be your genuine self and don't hide who you are, because that's what people really want to connect to. People don't want to connect to a faceless brand. They want to know you and connect to you and hear what you have to say. And it's okay if you are not the perfect expert with a bunch of fancy letters after your name. You probably have something great to share, and there's a lot of people who would love to learn from you.
And Chris, bring it home, my man.
when you're last, and you say, when I have one thing, I'm going to have one more as a backup, and then the two people before you take those. So you got to think of a third thing on the spot. What I will say, because I think what Athena and Eric said, those were perfect. I agree with that. I'd say have fun with this. I think sometimes we take it a little too seriously, and you just turn it into another job, because a lot of us are working a job and then doing this on the side. And so now you've just made two stressful things for you to do that you probably don't enjoy. So find a way to incorporate the things that you love about why you started this, and some ways where you can enjoy and have fun while you're creating, and not just, I got to go sit down and write, or I got to go sit down and record because I have to. Make it enjoyable, because it's going to take a long time. It's a long journey, so at least make it fun for the the years it takes to really grow and develop what you're doing.
Well, this has been incredibly enjoyable for me, guys. I've had a blast doing this. This has been just great, going over all these wonderful people with the three wonderful people here. Let's talk about what you guys are doing where you are. Athena, what are you working on right now? Tell our audience what's coming up.
So I actually am currently under contract to write a book for Wiley Publishing.
Awesome.
I'm going to be
nice. High five. I'm high-fiving her virtually here. Yes.
High five. I am going to, it's budgeting for dummies, so it's part of the For Dummy series. It'll be available for sale May 2nd, 2023 on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and wherever your favorite retailer is. And if you are just way too excited to hear more of me, you can always go to slate.com. I have a weekly money column called Pay Dirt.
And before the book comes out, I would love it if you come back and we dive into it. Let's chat about it.
Let's do it. I'm actually really excited because I don't want to give too much away, but there's like a ton of scenarios that we go through in the book. And I'm just really excited because I was like, oh, I never thought about that. And so I'm just, yeah.
That's awesome. That is so great. Writing a book was one of the most fun things I did. And I didn't think so beforehand. Before I started, I'm like, I don't know. And I should have done it sooner. Mr. Browning, what's happening at This Is Awkward and at Popcorn Finance?
So This Is Awkward. We're actually leaning into the whole live streaming world. That's been something I've been trying to learn more about, video and live streaming production. So you can find us streaming on YouTube on the Popcorn Finance YouTube channel. Wait. I think it's every other Thursday. If you go in there, you'll see what they're already scheduled. I already forgot the date we record on. And then, just in general, I've been trying to branch out to more video stuff. So while you're there, Popcorn Finance YouTube channel, just youtube.com/Popcorn Finance. I'll be doing more content, bringing some of the interviews there, and also doing some stuff specially made for the video format.
It's fabulous. Eric, is the Personal Profitability Podcast coming back at some point?
I am not sure, but the Pay Active Podcast is a podcast that I'm the host of. I have been a longtime freelancer at the Pay Active blog, and a few months ago the team decided, hey, we should have a podcast. And then they said, hey, Eric, you write for the site, we like your voice, will you be our podcast host? So you can hear me over there. It's called the Good Sense by Pay Active. You can find us wherever you find podcasts. The easiest place to connect is Eric Profits on Twitter. You can head to ericrosenberg.com and find all the good stuff I'm working on, such as my new project. The one that I would share is called Finance Media Experts. I have been so busy freelance writing that I needed to bring on a team. I needed help. So I found awesome people like Athena, who are fellow freelancers, to join me. And if you are listening and have a company that needs a lot of financial content, please let us know.
Say one more time, just say the name of the podcast again, because you blinked out right as you were saying the name of the podcast.
I'm sorry, it is the Good Sense Podcast from Pay Active.
Awesome. And you know what? Again, we'll link to all of Athena, Chris's, and Eric's amazing work on our show notes page at stackybenjamins.com. All right, guys, we will see you in Orlando.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Big thanks to everybody who's involved in this whole production today. Thanks to our team here in Mom's Basement. Big thanks to Athena, Chris, Eric. We will link to all of them on a special show notes page. And you know what? I'll also include that link to my friend Sean and his friend Mark, their clip that they let us use for this, Draco's Final Mission, which you can find on Spotify and on other platforms. That's it for me. I'm Joe Saul-Sehy. Coming tomorrow, a regularly scheduled episode of the Stacky Benjamin Show. Twyla True joins us. What a great story she has. She is someone who went from the poorest county in the nation and living in a very poor household, struggled a lot as a kid, and now she's one of the country's top entrepreneurs and was just named by Success Magazine and Entrepreneur Magazine. Some fantastic awards thrown her way because of her work. We'll have all that for you tomorrow, and of course, much more at the greatest money show on earth. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.